Taya and YouTube still cannot figure out how to manage horizontal orientation of my phone. My face is pointing the exact opposite direction from my camera, from your perspective. That shit pisses me off. This afternoon is conspiring to have me just erupt with rage and walk all the way away from trying to live stream tonight. That is not the outcome that I want. So we're going to fight through this frustration. It's going to end up costing me money and food. I'm going to end up gorging myself on sugar and meat here in a little bit. I'm so fucking pissed off. Fuck that game. Fuck that game. Chrono Trigger is maybe the worst game I've ever played. That's one of the worst games I have ever played. I have never fucking forced myself through a game that frustrating in all of my life. Second frustrating to that is having to come in here and reorganize my gamepad settings every single time I play this game. At least remembered my background volumes today. I have not eaten anywhere close to enough calories for this much frustration. It has been 5 years since I've been laid, and I have not eaten anywhere near enough calories. I haven't been loved by a woman who actually liked me in my entire life, and god damn it if the pressure doesn't just weigh on me some fucking days. I do not need Chrono Trigger being a giant ball of burning horse shit to improve my fucking day right now. So let's relax with Final Fantasy II. Because I like this game a great deal. And with any luck, it won't be a total shitbird. And even if it does require me to run around in circles, frankly, that is more fun and more engaging than anything I have done over the course of the last 5 or 6 hours. But these fights are going to be a little bit too difficult for me to try to level up my magic against. It's a beautiful day. And in Final Fantasy II, and this that we are playing right now, we are trying to find the white and the black masks to get access to some magic rod or something or other. I'm not entirely sure. All I know is that I don't know, really, what I'm doing next in this game. I don't really know. So I'm just going to the places that I have available to me, and I'm trying to stay alive because the difficulty spiked last night when we came to this new continent. And so we could go back. Really like it if you guys wanted to wake up. Yeah, the dev team for Final Fantasy II is indeed competent. I don't know how. I just what makes me so angry about Chrono Trigger is the praise heaped on it. That is trash. That is some of the worst gameplay experience I have ever had in a video game. And I didn't make up any of that. The story is that bad. I'm not hyperbolizing. I'm not editing it. I'm not. It's not clever editing that's making it look bad. I wish it were, because I wanted to have fun. This stuff is very strong for our level, especially Layla. Layla is a liability, and our magic is not particularly high level. And so I'm trying to level up our spells just to be done with it while they do a lot of damage to us so we can just get the HP naturally. There we go. This fight is more fair. Yeah, and it's square to turn on auto attack like it should be. Should not be triangle. The shoulder button shouldn't do anything. Ugh. Chrono Trigger, man, the whole UI. And so I deleted it. I straight up uninstalled it. So there's a very good chance I don't come back. Never again. Fuck that. Not I can't. I might be able to, but nah, I don't know. I don't know. Because the boss just hits too fucking hard. Trying to fight the end boss. So I'm happy with the canon ending for my playthrough being the world ending. I'm happy with that canon ending. Fuck that whole world. And everybody in it. God damn. The best thing I can say for that game is that some of the side quest vignettes that it put us through were brief. I wonder if this room. Sorry, I'm hitting triangle because I'm trying to play Chrono Trigger. Well, Minnie is adorable. Okay, Minnie's getting out of hand now. Yeah, like Cure 6, I really need that to do more than 250 HP. So we really need to, like, her cure needs to be up to 8. Doesn't need to be that high for us to progress the game. That's just how I think about it. Like, man, I really want that to be a lot higher level. And I could cheat it, but I don't want to. I'm trying to let myself relax to a good game now. Let the stress roll off. Because this hasn't been a particularly stressful day outside of playing Chrono Trigger for so long. And that doesn't count to most people. Most people wouldn't think that doing something that you're just absolutely not enjoying, even if it's a video game live on YouTube, is either A, work, or B, stressful. But I subject myself to it because it is both of those things to me. And anyway, I answered the question. I feel complete with that series because I answered the question, does Chrono Trigger, is it worth the hype? Does it hold up to scrutiny? No. A resounding no is the answer to that question. I got what I needed out of that Let's Play. So we can say, um, we can say for the history of the channel that Sea of Stars is a superior video game. It is a superior game, and it is a superior narrative experience to Chrono Trigger because I was able to force myself through Sea of Stars, and I just could not force myself any further through Chrono Trigger. Could not force myself further through it, and I was giving myself a week between playthroughs in Chrono Trigger to try to deaden that horrible taste in my mouth. I did Sea of Stars all in one go, not in one sitting, but all in however many days it took me, however many recording sessions that is. Those are all back-to-back days, is what I'm trying to say. That's how I feel about that. The way I'm sitting is pinching my hips and my pelvis together in a way that hurts really bad. But it'll relax soon. Or it'll get too chilly for me to be out here and I'll just move into the tent. Should have just moved into the tent between videos. Actually, moving into the tent would probably solve a lot of my problems because I could eat my potato chips, which maybe doesn't make for good audio, but I could eat my potato chips and play my Final Fantasy II and watch Mr. S's Scourge gain levels and look at them with their int and their HPs and their staminas and their ints. That's so good and so much money. We're getting so much money per fight in this dungeon. So everything about what's happening right now, while, yeah, greener pocket cottages is right, Mr. S. Everything about what's going on right now is a little bit inconvenient because I wanted to play Chrono Trigger until now, 8 o'clock, and really, I could have not rage quit. I could have. And there's a chance that maybe next week I come back and I see if my save is still on the cloud or whatever, but I don't think so. I've sated my curiosity for that. I've sated my curiosity. There are other games that I want to play from that time period that are equally supposed to be legendary. And my late night relax videos might become Minecraft here in the near future anyway. So I might just move Final Fantasy II into the Tuesday or into the Thursday spot. It's my fucking lineup, and I don't have a corporate sponsor telling me what I have to do. So until I piss off Mr. S by giving up on one of these games that I just fucking hate, I'm going to continue looking for games that I enjoy playing, that I could play for an 8-hour day. I could stream for an 8-hour day and not spend the whole time going, okay, what's next? What? Okay. Fucking A. Really? Because it doesn't seem like that should be much. These old JRPGs, they should give me 10 sessions of 8-hour gameplay. You understand what I'm saying? They're 60 hours long. I should be able to pad them for 80 if I want. And I'm having a really hard time right now with some of these games that I'm playing getting me more than 10 or 15. Period. Well, I'm kind of telling you what I'm going to check out. We're going to play all of the Final Fantasy series, and then I'm going to put you down for just a second. I got a mosquito bite on the back of my thigh, and I'm going to move into the tent. I'm just going to get myself all the way relaxed before I just have a fucking shit fit and embarrass myself. There's a game. I think it's called Secret of Mana. Um, I would really like. I would really like. I looked. I would really like to find a good Nintendo 64 emulator because what I would really like to play on Monday is Ogre Battle 64. But obviously that doesn't have a legitimate port on the phone that I have access to. I don't have a Nintendo 64 or a television or a means to, make that viable right now. So that's something I would like to do, but the 64 emulators that I've found, they don't read my controller, which doesn't make sense to me. But whatever. Like, what do I know about being an emulator developer guy? Fuck all. That's what. Okay. I'd like to thank you for your patience with me, future audience, those of you who are with me now, Mr. S. I'm not being particularly entertaining, but I was planning on transitioning at 8 o'clock anyway. I didn't realize that I rage quit right at when I was going to be done. So that's on me. That's kind of childish. But I thought to myself, what would Thick 44 do in this moment? You know what Thick 44 would have done in that moment? Thick 44 would have said, fuck this game. Fuck this. I don't know what Retro Arch is. I don't know if that's a game that's on the mobile platform. I haven't seen that title. I don't know why I'm opening this right now. I was thinking I needed to collapse it because I was thinking it was the other one. And I'm out of sorts because of stress. Has got my brain all scrambled and fried. So my priority queues are out of whack right now, and fuck, I did do that. Damn it. Okay, this goes in there. Okay. Do you talk to yourself through do you guys in the future, or Retro Arch is the emulator? Oh, okay. No, I've never heard of that. I'll look into it tomorrow. Um, because I would first like to. Oh, there's another game. There's a game called Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance that I want to play. I want to play really fucking bad. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance and Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. My brother and I played those games when I was in high school, and those are two of my very favorite games of all time. I don't know if you can play them online co-op. They're a two-player. They used to be a two-player local co-op, and so I played them with my brother, and I would get girlfriends to play them with me too when I was just out of high school. My ex-wife and I, um, one of the things we did together when we were first together, and we were very poor, but we were living together and we were in love and we were happy. Is we had a PlayStation 2 and we would play Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance together, and so I've been wanting to. It's on the phone. They have both the first and the second, and there's a part of me that, because see the studio that made those games, they made the second one. It ends on a cliffhanger. It ends on a setup for a trequel, right? For a sequel, a threequel. Um, and there's still a part of me, that young Vincent, who believes that if we support the things that we love, they will get sequels. And so there's a part of me that's like, other games from 20 years ago are getting sequels now because we still love them all this time later. Maybe if I buy and play Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, people will see how great and wonderful it is, and they'll make a sequel. They'll finally give us that thing. I don't even remember what they were promising us back then. It was something Egypty. It was something Egypty and tacky and dumb, but I would have loved it just because I really, really liked that game. And I would have adored it just because I would have loved the sequel and it being cliche and tacky and annoying, and I would have loved it just for existing. Kind of like I do this. Kind of like I do with this. We're back on, if you haven't noticed, if you're not using your eyeballs, and you wanted a visual cue for when to consider using your eyeballs again. I'm back at the thing, resting in the tent, digging in my belly button. I'm an itchy boy. I got lots of hernia rashes, and I was right. That was a mosquito bite on the back of my thigh. I'm glad I came in here. Hopefully, I didn't bring any of the skeeters in here with me. Oh boy. Not paying attention. Getting Layla. Turn to stern. Oh, wait. Oh no, his Asuna doesn't work on that yet. That's another reason that we want to work on our spells. Is we got to work on Kyle's Isuna to get rid of Stoned. Damn it! It's not level 5 that does it. I got to swap out my headphones here in a second too. I just got a lot going on. Like it all crashes down on me all at once. It seems like, right? And so that's a mental health thing, right? That happens to people all the time. And so it becomes, well, how do you cope with it, right? And for me, when I get into this, where it just feels like everything is crashing down on me all at once, and it's pissing me off, and I feel like I'm about to just start yelling. It's you just gotta take a breath, step back, and evaluate what you can do and what right now to alleviate some of it. And it's not about alleviating the stress, it's about meaningfully, okay, what how can we solve some of the problem right now? What of the problem right now can we identify as soluble? And soluble means dissolvable in water, right? So how can we dissolve this problem? How can we make this problem go away? How can we make it not even exist as a thing any longer? That's how I think about problem solving. And it's just one at a time. And so like if it's a lot of things all weighing up at me at once, like my face is itchy right now. And I need to wipe it. And I'm trying to put it off for as long as I can. But I have to deal with it right now. And so it's inappropriate. Sometimes it's inappropriate. Sometimes it's the timing just seems inappropriate. But if I don't, I'm going to freak out. And the freak out is significantly more inappropriate because what that freak out looks like isn't just okay, I'm going to delete Chrono Trigger. Fuck this. I'm rage. I'm not just rage quitting. I'm rage deleting this shit because this is 3 times and 3 times was 3 times too many. 1 time was too many. I can't auto do this fight because I can't see it. I'm sorry, guys. Eyes are having an allergic reaction, and if I dig at it with my hands have lemongrass oil on them or lemon tree oil or whatever it's called. My hands are not clean, so I can't touch my face with them right now. And my face is having an allergic reaction, ugh, in part to the stress. This is just one of the ways that my body manifests reacting to stress. I learned to swallow it for so long until it would manifest in ulcers and sores, itches, allergic reactions, my hair falling out, and I got to get on top of it. We all have to get on top of that before it begins to manifest. Because even just doing this little bit, this is helping. Getting my fan on, getting in my safe space, getting my hands clean. Ugh. Letting my eyes itch a little bit less. And then always conscientious breathing, always breathing. That's why I smoke so much. It's an opportunity to breathe, to just breathe. Okay, we're better now. Okay. 100 calories in this water. What's in this water? 27 grams of sugar. Fuck me dead. I picked up this bottle of vitamin water. Is what the brand, that's the name of the brand. I picked up this bottle of vitamin water brand bottled water because I thought I wanted something sweet that had a little bit of fruits flavor but no sugar in it. I looked at the fucking bottle. Holy shit. Why do you list potassium as in the bottle if you're not a significant source? Mysterious Mr. S, your cure leveled up. Mouse got holy. Layla is up to level 7 with sword and knife. She'll actually be able to hurt things here soon. Kyle with the defenses. Layla with good defenses. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. That was good. All of that was good. La da dee dee doo 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 da da da. And now we go outside. Oh, that was actually perfectly timed. One lap of that floor basically required us a cottage. I'm like, I feel like there's something that I want to do before I go back into that dungeon, but I can't remember what it was. Save. And grab your bag of chips. Yeah. Bag of chips sounds nice. Okay. Scourge. Holly. Actually, not Holly. Lazard. The health marketing is just marketing. I just looked at the nutrients for the first time. The girl who sold it to me at the Dollar Tree, she's the one that will small talk with me. Um, and she looked at my what I got tonight. She goes, "Oh wow, you're really getting different stuff than you normally get tonight." She makes fun of me because I'm a man of routine, you know. I like the same things at the same times every day. And so I got my granola bars, which she hasn't sold me the bar. She doesn't know I've been eating granola bars for the last 2 weeks. She hasn't sold me those, and I didn't get a bag of chips because I've got this bag of chips here that I haven't eaten on for the last 4 days. I haven't opened it. I've been hungry, but I haven't been that hungry when I got to the tent, and I haven't wanted to interrupt myself to chew, really. And she commented on the water, and I said, yeah, I wanted something sweet. And she goes, but vitamin water seems so unusual for you. And I said, well, it is unusual for me. I haven't had a bottle of this since 2006. And she looks at me and she goes, that's so specific. And I laughed, and I was like, well, I worked in a grocery store in 2006, and you get tired of the same old stuff. You're in this place with all this stuff, and that's when vitamin water hit the shelves in Ohio for the first time. So I tried it, and it just tasted like water, thin, barely flavored water back then. But I don't think it didn't have this texture back then. Like, it leaves a lingering texture on my tongue now that it didn't back in 2006. So I'm thinking that it used to be 0 calorie back in the day, that it used to actually just be water with barely any flavor and a little bit of vitamin infusion. Because it didn't taste like anything, and it didn't smell like anything back in the day, and this makes me low-key nauseous. My body keeps trying to vomit it back up while I'm sucking it down. But see, I listen to my body about stuff like that. That's like, I was talking about it today on my live, when I was talking real early. Well, it wasn't early this morning, it was around noon. That, like, part of the reason I don't do alcohol and I never experimented with heroin or with other opioids, first of all, I never had access, and the other reason is I don't like to puke. I just don't like puking. That's where alcohol and we had to part ways. Mouse with the blizzard. keeping it up. We like it. I will try to be mindful that not everybody likes the sound of eating. But my body, that's one of the things I was saying, is like I listen to my body and my body is telling me that I'm peckish. And that the sweet of the onion and the chip and the carbohydrates of the potato will help my mood. And so I'm listening to my body. Because it knows me better than I do. It's been me longer than I have. Alright. Now we just came. Mm-hmm. Hmm. I was really worried for a bunch of hours today too, because that live I did this morning, my phone died at the end of it, so I didn't get to end it properly, and my channel was saying that I hadn't done it at all, and it wasn't ending. It for like an hour after it still said that I was live, and the weird thing is that people were still in the chat talking to one another for about for I don't know, maybe not the full hour after, but I checked in about 20 maybe 30 minutes later and people were still talking. It was very strange to me. That whole situation was very strange to me. My lives have become strange to me. Well, I'm gonna have to go back to town very soon if these things are going to just they're gonna be fucking paralyzing me every time they hit us now. This fight they didn't miss a single not paralyzed. God damn, seriously? They haven't missed a single one this fight. We haven't avoided a single time. Seriously. Suddenly we just can't hurt these things. Or avoid them. We have one golden needle left. This is crazy. I'm telling you, this game, these old games, they will just hand you a wipe. Fuck. We already know that his Asuna doesn't work. No shit, the vitamins water's curse. What the fuck? What was that? We didn't avoid but one. We avoided a single one. We gotta get out of here and go back to town anyway. What the fuck? That is upsetting, but I'm in a better mood about it. Chrono Trigger would have just had me in a bad mood. I'd have just been pissed off about it, throwing a little bit of a temper tantrum. Yeah, RNGesus was not happy about that. RNGesus absolutely did not like me gaming that with a shelter. Alright, let's try this again. Let's not and say we did. There we go. There we go. That's more smart. What? Sorry, that was weird. I just got an email from an apartment complex I haven't lived at in 5 years, inviting me to hang out on the common green. Where am I going? Is that really how you feel about it? Mr. S being an absolute statue about this. Literally as unwavering as stone about that bed in that inn. What's this about here? Now, something ain't right. What's this about? Okay, so I'm not doing that. I don't remember where they said the other mask was, so we gotta go back to town again. That's fine, because we're done here. We can't progress any further. But we got to it. That was our real goal. We're after like a pair of masks? Break the seal. Leave many ancient texts. 3 artifacts protect the seal. The statue of a goddess is enshrined beneath the city. She watches over the crystal rods. Some time ago, a wizard named Minwu passed through town on his way to the tower. You'd best hurry after him. Well, if he was going to the tower, he beat us. Wait a minute. That wasn't a tower. That was a cave, wasn't it? A very small island lies in the middle of the sea. There you'll find the black mask, the white mask's counterpart. Very small island in the middle of the sea. Heard that. Many old books. Oh, wait. We're looking for the wyverns. A close relative of the dragon, the wyvern is trained to serve as the airborne mount of the dragoons. Though smaller than a dragon, this creature's strength allows it to carry 4 to 5 people in the air. The island of Deest was the ancestral home of the wyverns. A knight named Han visited the island, and over a period of 30 years he cultivated a bond with the wyverns. Han later became the first dragoon. Once, long ago, a king ordered the making of an indestructible lock and key. 3 sets were fashioned. The first was forged from friendship, the second from love, and the third from wonder. The sets forged from friendship and love were soon broken, but the third was wrought from the wonder evoked by the ringing of a single pure note, and it held fast. That key was the goddess's bell. So pleased was the king, he hid the bell away in a cavern of snow, where it rests to this day. Well, rested until it was in my hands. What's the sunflower? Fire. In a time before the world knew castles or kingdoms, a star fell to the land now called Keshwan. A man gathered flame from the star and built an altar to enshrine it. Neat. And yes, I agree. Brief. Information. Give me what I need to figure it out on my own. But give it to me. Don't make it impossible to figure out. I forgot where I was going. I need the island of Deist. I got all excited about this statue here. But that's right. We're looking to deal with the dragoons or something. I don't remember why, but that's what we're doing right now. But see, that's helpful too. Just given, the books there, they said, we have lots of old books. And then just letting me ask the books what I want, I like that so much. East? I thought you said Deist. I did say Deist, you idiot. Now this is probably the very small island. That's probably not where I want to go. Hmm. Hmm? What? How do I get... Am I confused? We have the encounters turned off, don't we? Yeah, I really like the direction in this game. I like what it's telling me. Because there's this... I know that I can come down to this island down here and get the cave, not the cave, get the one mask it told me to come after. But I don't need to do that. I need to find the wyvern people. Fuck. Deist is how they spell their city. Deist? 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 Deist is what it is if it's a religion. How do I get there? Let's have to fly to that little island. She said to go to Paloom and take a boat. So I have to be able to reach Deist by boat. I have to be able to reach it by boat. But I thought they said the southern continent, didn't they? So was that little town must not have been Deist. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Onward to the town I cannot pronounce. It's basically every expedition of all time. Like, not even being funny. We're going to place for the golden apples. What place? You couldn't pronounce it if I knew. That was a common trope
and sci-fi and UFO stories in the 60s and 70s. The aliens saying you couldn't pronounce it if you wanted to. Hmm. I think it's funny that Layla's a pirate, but she has our highest level thunder spell. This looks conspicuously unique on the map. What is it? I don't know why I said unique. It looks conspicuous. There are very few places on this map. This map is not very repetitive. I don't know why I said unique. Huh. My city and tower. Nothing happens. Hmm. Okay. Well, that's where our boy Minwoo went. Hmm. We don't mind in this game kind of running around aimlessly because we need the experience. We really need to stop having her just cure herself for no reason. Knowing is half the battle. And yeah, knowing, at least we know vaguely where to go. That's right. Somewhere on the southern continent. We could always go back to Altair and see if somebody wanted to tell us and remind us. Or maybe I could even go into Paloom. I bet somebody in Paloom would even be willing to tell us. Like, you idiot, that pirate was very obviously a pirate. Nah, I don't need that. But yeah, I like how they designed every stage of this game to assume that you were going to get lost. And so there's a lot less of find the one guy that you need right now. And there's a lot more of just people will help you. And maybe I just like relying on the mercy of strangers, random passersby. It is hard to stop drinking once you start the vitamin water, which is probably about the sugar. 25 grams seems like a lot for that little bottle. But maybe I'm wrong. Not works out because I was thinking about how I was going to sit here and nosh on a bunch of candy and fuck my teeth up, so this is better. I'm like hoping against hope that there's like a town here. Uh-huh. That's where the that's where the dreadnought was. Hmm. Welsh's grape juice has a lot of sugar in it. Like a lot of added sugars. So that means that. Oh, wait. I figured out how to get to this island. That's what I was looking for. I got a feeling Deist is on this island. Hey, nice. Bingo. This planet south is relative, alright? This island is decidedly in the northwest or northeastern corner of this of the map. But from Finn, if you go southeast, you will arrive here. And who knows? Maybe the Japanese have a different relationship with the cardinal points than Westerners do. I don't know why Teddy Belcher felt like he needed to comment that I'm online to talk to myself. But whatever. I guess he felt like he needed to interrupt me talking to myself to let me know that he knows that I'm talking to myself. Some people just gotta interrupt you when you're having a good time to let you know that they also exist. If I cared that you also exist, Mr. Belcher, I would be watching your live stream. That tile just told me to not come any closer, so that's the first thing I'm going to do is come closer. I'm going to tell my mom, he says. I found a cottage in that chest, in the castle of Deist. What's the big idea? You're not the bad guys. I thought the Empire had sent their soldiers after us again. The wyvern's right in there. It should be asleep right now. My mom says it's going to die soon, but that's not true, is it? Well, that's sad. When I grow up, I'm going to be a dragoon, just like my dad was. I hope my son hasn't caused you any trouble. If he has, I do apologize. Yep, that's how you know this is Japanese. That's how she opens the conversation. And it seems like these people have come to kill you. Sorry, I hope my son hasn't bothered you. My husband was a dragoon. The Imperial soldiers killed him along with the rest. My son and I are the only two left. And the room behind us is the last surviving wyvern. It seems to be trying to tell us something, but I cannot speak its tongue. If only we had one of the pendants, we would be able to understand it. The cavern of the wyverns lies north of this castle. That cavern may hold one of the pendants that allows one to speak to the wyvern's language. We know that language. We know those words. Okay. Where did she say that was? The dragoons fought valiantly, but the Empire knows no honor. They poisoned the wyvern's water. The wyverns writhed in agony until, at their last breath, with the wyverns dead, the dragoons were picked off one by the Empire. Where did she tell me to go? Shit. I read and did not comprehend. I can't speak your language. You guys are probably going to want to downsize this castle. This is an awful lot of square footage for two people. I mean, it's already fallen down around your ears. You're probably going to want to contact a realtor, like ASAP, maybe an interior decorator. This is going to get out of hand very quickly. Look, I've lived with people who couldn't manage their square footage, alright? It gets dirty fast. And now we don't say that, Mr. S. we don't use we don't use chemical warfare. The unicorn horn. What's my wife's girlfriend doing in this? Somebody told her to put her toys away. What is a unicorn horn? A horn that cures status ailments that wear off after battle. Oh, okay. It has the same effect as Basura. Sage's wisdom. I am absolutely robbing this nearly extinct civilization. Saint Spirit, Mallet, Wing Sword. Wing Sword sounds cool. Wing Sword is cool. Sweet. Some good stuff there. And now we leave. I really wish you would tell me where you said that I should go again. Pendant. Damn it! What? What pendant? What cavern? The Cavern of the Wyverns lies north of this castle. That cavern. Jesus Christ, how many times do I have to read that before I comprehend what I'm reading? Okay, you guys could have waited 5 more steps. Alright? Well, I didn't mean to have you guys do that to AoE, but it worked. Surprisingly well, actually. Alright, Layla, Sweetheart, you're half the HP. Yeah! Hey, sorry for coming back so soon. My short-term memory loss kicked in. Where did you say that was? Yep, I'm actually going to end this conversation a little early. Where did you say it was again? Okay, I know I just repeated it back to you, but I'm going to need you to say that one more time. That is exactly what just happened. That is exactly what just happened. Okay, you said the North Cave. Now, where? The cave north of here. Yep, just did not stick to my brain on any level. I mean, I probably could have walked outside of that castle and known the answer just by using my eyeballs, by looking at the design of the island. But I'm trying, I really am. You don't understand maybe, but I really am trying not to work on my reading comprehension, but to work on not on caring about these games, about reading what they say and caring. And so far, the final how far north, right? Right. Well, with Hilda and her Go southeast and arrive on the northern part of the map. You know, how far is a relevant question to ask these people. We're going to need you to go to the continent to the southeast. Go get on a boat and they'll take you there. Okay, but now I own the boat. And it turns out that when you say southeast, you mean way to the northeast. But you do get there by following the continent southeast. It's just a weirdly shaped map. It's a weirdly shaped landmass on this planet. Oh, these old games had different ideas about which directions would turn your character. No, which direction input on the button faces would turn your character which direction on the map. They had different opinions than I do about what should happen there. Okay, so why didn't lightning hurt the yellow soul when fire hurt the fire one? Okay, it's not fire. How do I hurt you fuckers? Yeah, stop fucking with my toenails. Okay, well, that's impressive, mouse. She's like, well, there's one way to beat something to death, and that's with a mace. You see, if you just beat them in the head with metal, well, they're all head. So if you just beat them with metal, that seems to have positive effects on the outcomes of this encounter. Mr. S. That's an Arrested Development reference. Don't get too excited about that one. Alright, these things were tough last time. But we've put on some pounds. Love it. Mouse and Kyle need to swap weapons. Well, not swap weapons. They just need to go to new weapons. Sword and dagger. I'll just leave her with a shield. No. No, I won't. Yes, you guys are doing the hell out of your setups. You notice that the HP is super good, MP is super good. We're no longer taking an ass whipping because we are on the correct spot in the game. Feeling good. Jesus Christ. Feeling good about all the decisions that we've made. Even going down there for that going to the wrong spot and fighting stuff that was more powerful than what we needed to be. Feel good about that too. I just love it, watching the stats go up and up and up and up and up and up in this game. Oh, come on. Thank you. You do have to feel the burn, though. The burn means that the muscles are tearing, that they're microfiber, micro tears. And you need those micro tears in order to build muscle. It is about feeling the burn. As Kyle turns around and uses AoE Fire 7 on the whole party. It would be funny to me if magic resistance also reduced the amount of healing that you receive from spells. Yeah, steroids are just strength XP boosters, yeah. Steroids is when we go into the boosters and we turn up our stat gains to times 2 or times 4. Like at this point, I'm starting to think like I know you guys can kill these things before you've done it, or I know you can kill these things, you've done it before. Oh, great news! This is a complex dungeon. That was not an animal. If you could hear that, that was a motorcycle. Well, our spells do more against these things than our weapons. The dungeon for the thinking man. No shit. There is a lot going on in this dungeon. It's busy. There have been 2 ways out, like 2 stairs out of every floor we've been on so far. So a stair in and 2 stairs out, right? It's busy. They got a lot going on. They just took everything. I just keep saying this, but they took everything that we liked, or that I liked, or that was good about the first Final Fantasy, made it better, and threw this combat mechanic on it, and it's just so cool. Also, once I accomplished our goal of getting all our main characters to 1,000 HP, by the time we had accomplished that goal, we had figured out where we needed to be anyway. I know I got the hiccups. That just happens. we cope and we move on. I had an interesting conversation with a guy today who asked me if I smoke weed as a means of coping, and I've never thought about that as a method of coping with reality. Coping to me begins at acceptance, and I don't know how weed would help me accept reality. I guess it makes sense if you're temperamentally um, oppositional. And so what I mean by that, I'm turning off my camera. What I mean by that is what I mean by that is if you're a temperamentally resistant person to change, I guess I could see how you might think that weed would sedate or calm you enough to make you less temperamentally oppositional to change, and so cope with change. But I don't know how that would work for me. No, that was the takeaway from that this morning. I found that strange, and I just found myself thinking about it. I thought it was a weird question. But the question means that other people do. And so if they do, or did, and had to stop because that's a terrible coping method, coping mechanism, um, I could understand why they have opinions about whether I do or do not smoke. That's something I can never understand. Is why people have opinions about, first of all, people they don't know doing a drug they've never experimented with. I've never understood how you could have an opinion. It's like I just frankly I cannot have an opinion about crack or meth. I didn't catch all of what that said, Mr. S. Give me just a second here. Alcohol is significantly more dangerous than weed is, because with weed, you know you're fucked up. Like you know you're stoned, you know you're fucked up, you're gonna act fucked up, you're gonna think you're fucked up. And there's going to come a point where as unfucked up as you think you are, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I smoked a bowl later or earlier. That's why I'm acting goofy, right? Whereas alcohol, the more you drink, the soberer you believe you are. It's very dangerous. The Neebs guys were actually talking about this, not on the most recent podcast, but on the podcast before that, because one of them was telling a drunk driving story, and Simon got in his feelings and was like, "You guys really, really got to button up on the drunk driving thing. It's not funny." But I used to smoke. I used to smoke weed and drive all the time, though. I'm not saying it was a good idea or a good thing, but both times I rear-ended people because I auto-hypnotized, I was very sober. But that's also a gateway that alcohol will give you, where they'll say things like, well, it helps me concentrate. So people, stoners, you know, will say it helps me concentrate. It absolutely does not help you concentrate. It doesn't help me concentrate. I can notice because I'll be doing a live or I'll be doing a record, and I'll be concentrating, and then I'll hit my vape and I'll completely fall to pieces and forget everything that I was doing and stacking up together. ADHD hyperfixation. So it helps me in that regard. But yeah, weed, I've never felt like mixing weed and anything. And alcohol, the first thing people want to do with alcohol is, well, what about alcohol and caffeine? What about alcohol and weed. That's called getting crossfaded. What about alcohol and energy drinks? People want to mix, alcohol and other drugs. That isn't to say that isn't to say that no one has ever suggested to me that the opium of the poppy plant, uh, dressed up on top of a bed of weed, or DMT dressed up on top of a bed of weed and then set on fire in a bong isn't a great time. There are people that have suggested it to me. It's just something I've never tried. So I wouldn't form opinions about it, and people doing it is all I'm saying. We have a lot of ignorance around drug use. Also, we have a lot of ignorance around drug use that just kind of floats around in the popular milieu, the popular vernacular. I need to look at their weapons because I need to, Batman. Because I've got to, mister. I mean, I still wouldn't bash crack cocaine or methamphetamine or heroin or Narcan, not Narcan, or the one that's dropping people dead like flies. I wouldn't knock the high. I wouldn't knock the use of the drug, but I would absolutely knock um, users who make asses of themselves in public or private. It's like the alcohol didn't make you do that stupid thing. You did that stupid thing. And so people people get in their feelings about, like, the crackhead who family member who steals their stuff and pawns their stuff, and they don't want to believe that their family member could be that person. And so they have to put it on the drug. And so alcohol is a gateway drug. The person that you knew is right. That's what we're building out, is that the person you knew is right, that alcohol is a gateway drug because people will encourage you to be an alcoholic. People will, I don't remember what that's called. There's a there's a psychology term for it. Enabling. People will absolutely enable alcohol. Absolutely. I hired a guy. I used to manage a restaurant, and I hired a guy who, he was a great server, but it's peer pressure, but it's a little deeper than peer pressure, but it is peer pressure for sure. Um, it's yeah, for sure. Peer pressure is absolutely what it is. But he was telling me that he had to move, that he was from a place a few hours away, but he straight up had to move because he got sober, and everybody he knew talked shit about him and to him constantly about how he wasn't boring. He was boring. He wasn't fun anymore, and just because he didn't drink, just because he had to quit drinking. And so he had to move. He had to completely relocate and make all new friends, completely new everything, just because of that little lifestyle change. It's poison, man. But we could talk about Dionysus. Yeah, it's cult. It's because the bar is the original temple. When you hear tavern, bar, and tavern, pub is the public house. Tavern is tabernacle, is the tent. It's the same word. Tavern comes from taberna, which is the Greek word that tabernacle, the tent that the Ark of the Covenant was stored inside. Same word. So there's a reason that Dionysus is the god of wine and that that reason is basically that alcohol in its own right has always been a religion. The creation, the fermentation, the process. Kyle is up to being able to evade three, to defend against three spells now. His magic defense is three times like 90% or something insane like that. This is more like what our play session today was supposed to be like at this level. This is not nearly so dramatic a hike in difficulty as where we were trying to be. Which is funny. That has me thinking about how I guess there's a new update to 7 Days to Die. I don't play 7 Days to Die, but the Neebs guys released a podcast about it today, and so they're talking about how I guess last week people were up in arms about the fans, the fans of the game, longtime fans of the game, are up in arms about some of the decisions that the devs have made with this most recent patch, and so I'm listening to them. I'm listening to them talk, patch, update, whatever you want to call it. I'm listening to them talk about what is in this update, and what they've done is they've simplified the game. Um, they've made it, they've given you clearer direction of what to do. And so it's so funny because I'm listening to them talk like the game now, it gives you quests and tells you where to go, and it makes accessing the biomes easier than it used to be in Alpha 16. And it's so funny listening to the Neves guys talk about, oh, that's annoying and that's stupid and we don't like that and that makes the game too easy and it's too hand-holdy now. But I can remember back in Alpha 16 where they're like, okay, so what are we supposed to do and where are we supposed to go? Let's spend weeks of playtime in the original village just renovating the houses in the first place that we spawned in. They did that. And so when they talk about, oh, it's too hand-holdy now, we don't know, we don't want them to tell us what to do. That's because you guys have been playing for a decade. The people that are getting it for free on the console are going in and going, there's no direction, it doesn't tell me what to do, and I keep dying. Fuck this game. I know that. Because that's exactly what I would have done in that game, in Alpha 16 and or earlier alphas. I would have walked in and gone, okay, there's no story. Fucking fantastic. What am I supposed to do? Fuck this game. If I didn't have years and years and years, almost a decade, very, very close to a decade, 7 or 8 years of watching them play it, I would probably not have any personal interest because it's basically the whole game is just, what if creepers from Minecraft never stopped? I'd never be able to play it. So it's funny to me how quickly people can lose sight of their opinions, their own opinions over the aggregate of time. They can't stop and remember that, oh yeah, just because this game is old, as far as the what do they call it, the alpha, doesn't mean that it's not still only like a year, maybe 18 months old on consoles for regular gamers. The real game, it just went to update 2.0, guys. Just because you've been playing it for 10 years doesn't mean that the devs don't know who's actually spending money on it now. You paid money on it 10 years ago. It's funny how quickly, it's very funny to me how quickly people can lose sight of that. That's why I wanted to know if Chrono Trigger still held up. It cost me $15. And yeah, that right, Mr. S, you're right about that on the PC, and that's why I keep talking specifically about the console generations. The console people can't play older versions, and they're playing it for free on the Xbox Live or whatever it's called. That Xbox service, that subscription service. 7 days is free on that, or included, however you want to think about inclusion, free, whatever. It doesn't cost you an extra price on top of the subscription. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm yelling at you. I was projecting there at the end. I wasn't yelling at you, and I wasn't trying to talk over you or anything like that. I felt like I was. I just realized I was talking very loud. Um, Look, I think, yeah, I think you know me well enough to know at this point that even the devs of Chrono Trigger, as much as I hate their fucking thing, I am going to defend their right to make a shitty product and sell it and get people to believe that it was better than it was because it should have been. Those people were legends. But it turns out I don't think I like the games they're legendary for. I don't think I like what they're legendary for, but I would never, I want to be very clear. I would never say that somebody else isn't allowed to like it. And so it's just funny to me that, yeah, they're like, oh, well, I don't like what they're, because they're not involved in being, what they were doing. I want to be very clear, because I sound like I'm gossiping and I'm saying the Neebs guys are, they're dumb. They're very dumb, but they're very average people. They were discussing other people's complaints and then evaluating whether they made sense from their perspective. That's a good conversation. And they've had the devs on their channel. They've done a lot of work to help that grow to where it is. They did a lot of work to get that on Xbox Live. So I don't mean to sound like I'm shitting on them. I'm just passionate about the topic. Hideo Kojima is exactly that is exactly the comparison. The Death Stranding stuff. Donkey, have you watched? I highly recommend watching Video Game Donkey's Death Stranding videos, because he just made a second one, and he he talks about how he's the only person that understands those games, and he's beaten he's like me, right? Where I keep talking about, I've beaten this game 5 times or whatever, 3 times, and I just don't know what the fuck it's about. And he keeps talking about that with Death Stranding. That was the exact comparison. Yeah, for sure. It's like, I don't get it, but there are people that eat that shit up like Valiums. But I don't have to get it. It doesn't have to. That's something. If my channel is about showing you things, it's about showing you that, like, not everything has to be about me. Even in the like the I think I'm walking back and forth between these ladders, aren't I? Even in a market that I like, video games, even in JRPGs, not every JRPG had to be made for me. Because especially back in this day when the game had to be finished when it hit the market, they were gifts. And that's why people love Chrono Trigger and put up with it. Is because if you put up with it, getting Chrono back probably feels awesome, right? And saving the world and doing all those side quests. If you put up with it and you're able to suspend in a way that I'm not, if and you're able to not identify or dwell on the fact that it's so poorly written. Okay, I see what I'm doing. I'm not walking back and forth. This was a dead end. Okay. Um, then I can absolutely understand falling in love with it and feeling like a badass for defeating Lavos and its cheating horse shit. And I can absolutely understand not knowing that that game is cheating and horse shit, and so overcoming it and feeling like a absolute badass. But it doesn't give me that. It doesn't give me that. I'm really upset. Really upset about that game. I have wanted to play and like that game my whole life, and I keep trying, and then I'll get bored, and I'll be like, there's more life. There will be a time in my life when it hits me just right, and I'm able to finish it, and nope. 30 years later, still no. I think that game came out in 1999, around then, and still no. Just still, it's a no. It's like, after a certain point, it starts to make me feel bad. Talking about it starts to make me feel bad. Because there are people who have like their whole life wrapped up in liking that game. Same with Symphony of the Night. I'm sure I hurt a lot of people's feelings with Metroid, shitting on Metroid. I just don't get it, and I don't mean to be shitting on it. but I hear it. I can hear it. It's like, have you ever gotten a bad birthday gift? Have you ever just gotten like a bad gift? I think I've told this story before, but like, um, for my 30th, it might have been my 29th or 30th birthday. One of those later significant birthdays. Um, I had a wife and a girlfriend at the time, and my my girlfriend was really freaking out because it was her first birthday, like my first birthday that she was with me, and she was us, and she was really freaking out about like getting me a good gift. And the gifts that my wife got me were Swedish fish and mint chocolate chip ice cream. Two things that I just don't like. I just don't like those things. And so, like, I don't know, like, if you've ever gotten a bad gift before, just been like, wow, that's so off base. It makes me wonder if you even know me at all. And that's how playing a bad video game feels like to me. It's like, do you even know me at all? And so, like, after a little bit of examining that feeling, like, you just sit and you examine, all right, why do I feel betrayal? Um, it's a silly thing for me to be having this much of an emotional reaction to. But it's also, like I said today, at some point, like my whole life, I've just really wanted to do what normal people do, like that, like Ariel, right? Like, I just want to be where the people are. I just want to do what they're doing, and feel normal, and feel like just a normal, regular person who can do normal, regular people things. And so that's what I'm angry at Chrono Trigger for. It's like, why can't I just like this? Why can't you be likable? And when you're shaking someone and you're yelling that in their face, which I've done to a girlfriend or two before, why can't you just be likable? Layla got her third evasion. You're not making the problem less bad by shaking something and asking it, why aren't you likable? That's not helping. It's not helping you get what you want, and it's not going to help them be likable. Because what's that? What's that mean? That said, I think there are a lot of people out in the world, especially a lot of men, a lot of males out in the world, whose mothers did that to them when they were very young, and it's made them weird. Why can't you be likable? Why can't I like you? I'm not suggesting that anyone watching this stream right now is one of those people. I might be. My mother never asked me why I couldn't be likable. She just told me she didn't like me, or love me, or want me alive. I wish that were a joke. Layla's agility is bananas. Oh, please tell me this isn't the entrance that I'm walking toward. Please tell me I didn't just do a big lap of the perimeter of this dungeon. I've been in here long enough and I've been talking about nothing for long enough. Yep, this is just a lappy laps. This is going to take me outside where I can use a cottage at least. Save. I missed the last thing you said to me, Mr. S. Right, it's a matter of opinion. Just because I don't like a game doesn't mean it doesn't have its audience. Is what he said, and I chose to read it because that's what I was trying to say. Just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not for you. Yeah, what we enjoy and what we like in particular is particular to what we like is particular to each person. Yeah, you have your preferences. Yeah, like I don't like Souls likes. He said like he has a preference. He likes Souls likes. I don't like Souls likes, but I love roguelikes. And the overlap there like Dead Cells uses a ton of Soulsborne game mechanics. That's all. They use a ton of Souls-like game mechanics. It's not that I don't like every gameplay or design decision of the Soulsborne genre. I just don't like how slow and clunky and ugly they are. But I'm happy that other people like them. I would be more likely to enjoy the Armored Soul, the Armored, what are they called? Armored Core? Is that right? They're mech games. I'd be more likely to enjoy those games because fast pace, carnage, low stakes, robots, Armored Core. Thank you. Like a lot of people, Donkey specifically, but even I actually stopped watching. Um, I stopped watching Zero Punctuation after the Armored Core 6 or whatever came out because all he did was shit on it for not being uh, a Dark Souls game when all he did with the most recent Soulsborne game that From Software released was bitch that it was another Soulsborne game. So he had to go from my life over that. And it really bothered me that people didn't like that you could make your robot, if you wanted to, that you could make your mech so overpowering that the game was trivial. And I'm like, to me, that's why you play mech games, is to make your your mech so overpowered the game is trivial. That's what's fun in a mech game. But From Software had been making the Armored Core franchise for probably decades by the time the Dark Souls came around, Demon's Souls came around. Exactly. You decide the difficulty. Yeah, just because certain parts trivialize the game doesn't mean you have to use them. If you want the game to be more difficult, use parts that are more difficult. It's like in Castlevania. I went and looked, and that I wanted to know what the fuck the point in that tear thing weapon that drops all of your strength, that drops your strength to zero. The point in the tier thing is for elective difficulty runs for people who want to play the game and never progress above zero strength. But also if you use it on the bad run, and so the if you're trying to go for a bad ending and you use the tier thing in a particular fight, it unlocks and secures the bad ending. And so it has a reason to be in the game. And that's fucking annoying to me, but great. It's that somebody fucking loves that shit. Somebody that's their favorite shit in the whole universe is winning a game at zero strength. Yeah, FromSoft does difficulty differently. Exactly. You choose how difficult your run is going to be. Exactly. Oh, I did it again. Okay, I know where I'm going. Fuck, that was stupid, and I knew that was gonna happen. Okay. It doesn't matter. We're not speed running this. But yeah, like that's what makes the original Final Fantasy cool. And I am of the opinion that the Soulsborne, that the FromSoft design mentality actually comes from the 8-bit Final Fantasies. They have the same design philosophy, that they're trying to get at the D&D experience. Ultimately, that's what their core goal is. And so FromSoft is obviously specializing in single player experiences, and I think that what they're the experience that they're trying to reach toward is this game. Maybe not two, but you understand what I'm saying. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I shouldn't tell you what you understand. This feel like this, but what if solo? Okay, I'm already sure I'm going the wrong way, but we're gonna make this work because it doesn't matter, and we're getting more powerful every fight. That's what I love about this game. Yeah, you don't play with the co-op. Yeah, I wouldn't either. Straight up. Um, what weapon are you? Okay. I don't know what I thought I saw, but it wasn't what I did see. Damn, they were not fucking around with this dungeon. I want. I can't. Okay. This is awesome. I love this shit. I love this shit. Getting killed in a dungeon because you ran out of supplies because you got lost. That would happen. That would be the consequence. It's great. But I do want to go back to working on my spells. So Blizzard, get it done. Just work on holy forever. I'm just gonna have you work on holy for a long minute. We've almost got Layla. And another thing that I really like about this game is that because the guest party members not named Minwoo are so weak when they join the party, by the time you get to the end of the dungeon, to the part of the time where they're in your party, they're competent, feels good. That lets you know, okay, it's time to move on. Because remember, like, it strikes me and it always hits me as a challenge. It always hits me right in the teeth as a challenge. When Hilda says, "You know nothing of combat, you will be a liability. Please go find safety." I have to get my holy spell to where I can one shot the final boss now. You see what I'm saying? I take it as, ooh, you come across the remains of a dragoon. Something nearby on the ground catches your eye. You found a pendant! Hey, I wasn't even trying to. That wasn't even where I was trying to look for. I like this game. I just do. And it's so strange. It's probably my particular abuse, or the particularly um, harmful or traumatizing to me social environments that I've lived my life in. But I really do feel like I have to apologize for liking this game so much. To say I'm sorry. It's like finding a penny on the floor of a Macy's. I don't know what the Macy's. I don't know how the Macy's makes it better. I don't even know that Macy's still exists. But sure, it's like finding a penny on the floor of a Macy's. I have no problem with that. I just dig it, man. Oh, I see what you're saying. I found a pendant on the floor of this because Macy's are so big, they're multi-floored and they're hard to navigate. I got myself there. I got myself there. I was trying to explain that effective communication is kind of that. Sometimes you just got to repeat what you've heard so that they know that you heard all of the words. And then you have to say your interpretation and then admit that you don't understand what the fuck that's supposed to mean. People will get offended. I had a guy one time, I don't know what he said to me, but none of the words came out of his mouth in order, in the correct order. And I just looked at him, waiting on him to have or demonstrate, like, um, he didn't try to correct himself or fix what he said. And so I just looked at him and I said, man, I don't know how else to say this. I didn't hear words in what you just said. I have no idea what that sentence means. And then he said it in different words, but he was all pissed off about it. And I said, well, see, when you say it like that, I know what you mean. Trying to play it off like it was something that I did, but maybe he had a speech impediment that I'm unaware of. Obviously, I was unaware of it. He was a customer and I'd never seen him before. I don't know you. Well, like, I wasn't trying to boss a guy around earlier today, but it's like, if you're going to talk to me about psychological stuff, you got to use the psychological idiom. If you're going to use slang that can mean anything, I don't know what you're asking. You can't use those words. Oh, no. You don't have any reason to apologize, Mr. S. I know there's a delay. That's why I was searching back through what I had said that you might be saying that in reference to. Oh, that joke was perfect 5 minutes ago. Yeah, isn't that how listening to a podcast or watching like a long form like this goes? Like, you think to yourself, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep a running stream of consciousness of my commentary for this video, and then you look at what you've composed and you say, only a crazy person would hit send on this to a stranger. And then I would hit send. Poof, there you go. If I spent the 2 hours watching or listening to your podcast, you're going to get the 2 hours of notes that I just compiled, because I don't have any friends and you're the only person who knows I listen to this now that I've hit send. Now just ask yourself if you think I'm joking. Yep, I wrote this. Go ahead and take it. There's a non-zero chance you're not going to read a single one of these words, but I wrote them. Here you go. That's why I'm not seeking publication. People ask me all the time, like, why? Well, used to ask me all the time, well, like, why aren't you trying to seek traditional publication for your novels? And it's like, because mailing them to some stranger that's anonymous to me that I will never meet, and knowing that it's their intern that decides whether my 50 words are worthy of publication, is a humiliation that I am not putting myself through. You can. I'm not. I'm not getting a form rejection letter by some fucking intern junior in junior college. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I have self-worth. You don't, well, the publisher is nice. The publisher is nice if what you want is to be paid for your work, frankly. If you want to know that here is the work, thank you for the pay, and that somebody else is going to handle distribution, advertisement, all of that, and then somebody else is going to book your speaking engagements, all of that. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's not the kind of publisher I meant, but yes. Well, no, I guess I thought you meant producer. Sometimes P words are the same word in my brain, and I'm getting tired. It's rolling up on 10 o'clock. I might have, for the first time since being a homeless streamer, YouTuber of any kind over the course of the last 12 months, I might have finally managed my external batteries in such a way that I don't have to go to Taco Bell. If you remember me talking about it at the beginning of this, I was kind of fretting about needing to go to Taco Bell to recharge my shit, or just having to cut off this stream a little earlier than maybe I wanted to. And I'm at 50% battery right now on my phone, and I can't see my other battery because I have it under my water bottle. But we're doing great because it's still charging. So making good progress. Progress is probably not the word I wanted, but life is good. And not just because some stupid fucking shirt says so. Those life is good shirts used to piss me the fuck off. You always knew you weren't going to make dick at that table. If there was somebody wearing a life is good shirt at your table, if you were a server, when those shirts were real popular, I always knew. If the guy paying is wearing a life is good shirt, 10%. If there's someone at the table in a life is good shirt and that guy isn't drinking like a fish, 18%. Now, if the guy paying is drinking like a fish and wearing a life is good shirt, you might be talking like a 50, 60. I had people pay more than 100% in tips a few times. And the way you do that is by not putting their drinks on their bill. You say, "Oh, you've been drinking all night? I forgot about that. Do you want me to put the $100 a drink? Oh, you want to put that in my pocket? Yeah, I'll keep that $100. Thanks. Have a good night." I'm serious. Don't get caught. That's theft. You're just giving away product. But if you want to make some real money, don't charge an alcohol for his booze. It's theft. You are stealing from the company. Don't do it. It's also very dangerous. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know people's limits. You have to know body language, and you have to be able to cut off a guy that doesn't know that he's drinking for free. Don't tell him he's drinking for free until he's hammered. And you hand him his bill and he looks at it and it's missing a zero, and that goes in your pocket. Because for him, that night, life was real good. And I made a living at that, giving people not free booze, but making sure they had a good night. And I don't even mean a good night about being drunk. I just mean they're going to have a good time when they sat down at my table. We're going to laugh. We're going to have a good time. I'm not here to have a bad time. That's the thing, right? That's why it grinds my teeth so fucking bad to be playing these games I don't like. It's like I'm not here to have a bad time. But I am here to do the research of answering the question whether this is playable or whether I just don't gel with it. And the answer is that they're playable. Chrono Trigger's playable. Um, Symphony of the Night is playable. For sure, they're playable. I can concede that. They just have a lot of decisions in their design philosophy that I fucking hate. I keep talking myself into it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to start over Symphony of the Night, and I'm just going to start it over, and I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to try. And no, I don't want to. I want to play something else. I want to play something I like. It's free. Symphony of the Night is free in Game Pass. I didn't spend money on it this time. Now, I've spent money on it 2 times before. But they've got my money, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like, they've got my money. And I'm not missing out on anything. Because, like, I've watched some of the later scenes where they're like, and you get a story if you do this. And I'm like, there's a story in this game? And I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know what it is. And if you want to know what it is, you have thumbs. That's a clear boundary. I mean, if money showed up in my bank account that said Symphony of the Night or bust, I would play it. But I don't think back to it. And I'm almost certain I'm not coming back to Chrono Trigger. Almost certain. I don't rage crit and throw temper tantrums very often. Uh-oh. And so making that choice wasn't just about being performative, it was about being definitive. And that's one of my favorite endings to anything ever. I don't remember what it is. Of course, it's Neebs Gaming, but the end of one of their series, Thick actually signs off by uninstalling the game. I think it was their second Minecraft series. He actually signs off by uninstalling the game. It's just such a baller move. And so I wanted to live that. And you know, like I don't get to do things that I have fantasized about very often, but it felt right. Okay, so now we have the pendant. With the pendant, we can open doors that were magically locked by somebody else's nuke. No, that was Chrono Trigger. I don't know what we can do with the pendant anymore. It took me so long just to find out where to find it that I don't remember what she was talking about with what to do with it. I'm sure that what she wants us to do with it is not wear it. And I would like to thank the three of you for still being here. That's very cool of you. I know I can't see my chat, and that I've pressured you a couple of times to send me money. Thank you for being cool and understand that it's whatever. It's whatever. We're here to have a good time. And if you had a good time, that's what mattered, frankly. I've heard that the lowermost chambers of the cavern hold the life spring, the place the wyverns used as a hatchery. Now that's where I was trying to get. We seek your aid in destroying destroying the enemy, our common foe. Will you help us? The Empire's poison already courses through my veins. I will not escape the fate that befell my brood. So we're going to ask it about the wyverns. Oh, I have one last request to make of you. Take this egg to the cavern north of here and submerge it in the life spring. It is the last remaining wyvern egg. If it is not submerged in the life spring soon, it will wither and die. You obtain the wyvern egg. Ah! I get to have my own Thick 44 adventure! I get to be a wyvern king! I forgot about that. That makes me happy. I'm still mourning his passing in my ways. Leave me alone. This is exciting. I get to do something good. People aren't going to die as a result of the thing that I'm doing. Innocents that I'm trying to protect aren't going to die. I get to preserve a young life. Bring new hope into the world through new life. That's beautiful. Unarmed. Moreover, I get to be a wyvern king. I wonder if I get to name it. Deloo, 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 deloo. Whooping ass. Alright. Progression does work. I feel good about this. I feel like I always play these games with a strategy guide open beside me, either on my phone or the actual book, because I just don't have the patience. I have just never had the patience in my life. And so, like, the accomplishment of beating many of these JRPGs that I've beaten, the accomplishment is just in having, like, beaten the bosses, having survived to the end. The accomplishment was most decidedly not figuring it out on my own, solving the puzzles on my own. Not all of them. I mean, you'll do some of them. Like, okay, but you know what? I don't actually feel like doing this anymore. So how do I do it? Oh, like that? Okay. And I haven't done any of that. Not on these lives. I feel good about that. That's a departure from uh, that's a departure from what I believe, what I would actually say is a flaw, is a weakness in my character. Oh, it's over there. How do I get to that bridge again? How did I get to this? Okay, I think I see it. I'm probably wrong. But we're saving a life. If I knew how to save a life is a song, or at least it's a line from a song. I do know how to save a life, and so I'm going to do it. We've doubled our HP tonight. We started at about 700, and we're at about 100. I feel good about that, in large part because these hill gigas aren't going to surprise one-shot me again. They can't even hit her. Now, Mr. S, sometimes he forgets to hold his shield up, but Layla doesn't take damage anymore. And see, now she's competent. Remember, I was saying that when we got here, we were competent, and now we're just powerful. And so Layla is competent, and that's how we know we're ready for whatever is coming next. And I like that progression. I like that a lot, actually. It's intuitive. I like intuitive things. What was that? That was, she needs a bow. Just give her a bow. He's done with the axe, right? Yeah. We can go unarmed with Mr. S. Hell yeah! And we're up to, um, I think 6 with all of our weapons. We're starting to work on 7, and yeah, look at that. Now we're just things that we could barely hurt when we first came in this cave. We one-shot. That's what I am talking about. I like that. There are a lot of people. I just pulled my best Donald Trump there, but there are a lot of people who don't like that stuff. They don't like this game, and they don't like the way you get good in this game. They would rather just walk around the starting zone for 14 hours until they're level 40 and then just go and make the rest of the game trivial, but I think that's boring. I like a certain amount of walking around in circles, but I would rather get lost in a dungeon. I was trying to explain that to my most recent ex, like when I was playing Tales Tales of Symphonia. She was asking me, she's like, why don't you ever, like, why are you hustling between towns on the world map, and why are you hustling to the dungeon on the world map? Why aren't you just enjoying, like, walking around in circles and getting into random encounters and stuff and the world map? And I'm like, because I would just rather, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to get lost in these dungeons anyway. So I would rather just get lost in the dungeon so that by the time I find my way out of the dungeon, it is trivial and I know the boss isn't going to be just stupidly powered. And that's something that Chrono Trigger refused to give me. And I am certain that I'm going the wrong way. I'm really just picking my passages at random. Because it's about the relaxation, and until we can one-shot these things, we're not done with this dungeon anyway. Hey, look at that. She leveled her bows up. Go ahead and do it again, sweetheart. actually don't. Damn. Never mind. Just keep doing what you're doing. This is not a turn on spells auto attack with spells dungeon. We're just not going to get better with our magic in here. But we're taking enough magic damage that our magic defense is still going up. So we're good with it. That's what it would sound like if you were trying to scat the victory theme of Final Fantasy VII while also having uh, collagen injections. Because your lips will be all flappy. That's what we're trying to get. We're trying to get to that side. Those dual heads probably want to work on their sit-ups or something because they don't have enough HP. They just cannot sustain our onslaught. Look at her evasion. So good. There's the thing we need. We need to get in that pool. We need to take the Babin. Thank God, by the way, that this damn dragon or wyvern egg that they've given me. Porky Pig acapella. That was kind of what I was doing, wasn't it? Not on purpose, but that kind of was what I was doing. That's all, folks. Um, that makes sense that I would have picked that up and made it into music because it's a fun mouth noise. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, thank God this wyvern egg that I'm carrying doesn't fucking go bad as fast as the wyvern eggs in Ark. Fuck that game, by the way. Fuck Ark. We were talking a little bit about 7 Days. That's a game I really want to play and really, really, really want to support. Schedule 1 is a game I would really like to play. Ark is a game I could never play again. Survival Evolved. I could go the rest of my life without ever playing that and be totally fine with it. I have played that game with 2 girlfriends and enjoyed 0 minutes of it. 0 minutes. When the trees and rocks and stuff started respawning back in, I said, this is the dumbest shit I've ever played. What kind of survival game has the fucking rocks and trees and stuff sort of spawn back in? And they're like, well, you're in an arc, you see. You're in a sci-fi reality that may or may not be virtual, you see. And I said, fuck you. There's a story in this? I'm a human being in the same biome with dinosaurs. I don't need a fucking story. And then they started talking my ear off, and I said, I don't think we can be together anymore. You like this game. And that might just be damning of your character. That didn't really happen. The last part didn't really happen. I made that part up for the joke, because I thought it would be funny to say. I am Tarzan. Story concluded. I picked that up. Look, the end of story concluded thing, I picked that up. I don't remember which girlfriend it was, but I picked that up with one of my girlfriends because she would be like, okay, but what does 4 stories after the story had concluded, what does this 5th story have anything to do with the first story? And I'd be like, nothing. The first story concluded 4 stories ago. We're 4 stories away from the first story. She's like, you got to start telling me when the stories end. Okay. I had lunch at Taco Bell today. Story over. Oh, if I was going to Dollar Tree tonight, I missed it. And we're not doing much better than 30% battery every hour. I'm gonna have to start this dungeon over. Because I kept walking to that bridge first. I kept getting there first. So I'm doing something totally different than I did my first 2 laps in here. Seven on the weapon means swords and daggers. Swords and daggers. The main gouge. The main douche. This right here is my main douche. Something I don't think a lot of men say. I could be wrong about that. I've been wrong before. Well, I should say English-speaking men, because I'm pretty sure that douche in French just means, like, shower. Really? So they're very confused by the insult. My generation were weird. My generation were weird. We called each other weird things as insults. We were only allowed to get away with so many words. Like, we were not allowed to say a lot of the things that your generation, young people, say. Frenchmen are confused in general. They speak French. Like, of all the languages you could possibly choose to speak. God damn. Really? Let's just eat all 6 of them. Just, okay. I was getting excited about eating all of them. Why did you dodge the last one? 888 damage feels like a lot in this game. When 55 kills. 888 feels like a lot. Just a little bit of overkill. 745 points of damage of overkill. I just want to go across that rope bridge. I don't feel like I'm asking that much. But I do feel like a stupid person for being lost in this dungeon for so long. I'm going to have 2,000, where everybody's going to have 2k HP by the time we get out of here. Layla's going to come out of here, and she's just going to look like the fucking Hulk. She's going to look like actually one of these ogre chiefs. She's just going to be ripped. Fuck! I have done that a lot of times. That's not the first time I've thought, it's got to be this passage, and it was not this passage. Okay. Just a second. I gotta focus. Because the thinking about the encounters, thinking about you guys, thinking about how great you are and how luscious your tits are. I didn't mean to say that last part. Just the how great you are part was what I meant to say. Has got me confused and mildly aroused. I meant confused, just confused. And a little bit upset. That didn't take me where I wanted to go. Okay, how about over here? Oh, okay. That's not it. What about up here? This feels like somewhere I haven't gone in a few minutes. Thank fuck. I was really just gonna walk and between those same doors talking about why can't I figure out how to get out of here. We're gonna say it's the brain damage, but you're going it's the weed. I want to hear this story, Mr. S. So I'm actually going to pay attention to that. That's funny. Did it play off? Were they upset? Did it work? Did they understood the humor of what you were doing? Good. If it worked, explosions of incongruous emotion are one of my very favorite bits. But they work. You have to. The person has to feel like they know you for them to work consistently, and so that's exciting for you. That there's somebody in your life that worked on. I'm happy for you about that actually. Not even in a condescending way. That's a great bit. That's a bit I also like to do. The woman that I was with most recently did not ever get it. She never understood that it was a bit. Yeah, every once in a while you just hit people with how they talk to people who aren't you. Let them hear it. That's my whole channel. Absolutely. It works for comedy purposes, but it also works for philosophy purposes. I think I have a comment waiting for me on one of my videos today that says that my neologism philaletheia isn't a word, and it's like I know it's a neologism and I spelled it wrong, so you would know that it's a neologism. Neologism being a new word or a new manner of speaking. So, like the first person to say that's off the chain created a neologism. I don't know if you know this, but if you're a good enough writer or communicator, you're allowed to make up words. Now, I'm not saying that I'm as good as Shakespeare. Yeah, understanding the joke well enough to understand that you were joking. That's how that particular kind of surprise, that particular kind of joke works. And see, that brings me back to my live conversation this morning where I was disagreeing with Anthony Jeselnik and whatever her name is, the chick that plays the bunny eared girl in Bob's Burgers, plays the voice. They were arguing in a short that I saw on a podcast that they recorded together about where comedy comes from. And Anthony Jeselnik, who is a person that I revile, is of the opinion that comedy comes from surprise. And he says, but all of my jokes are surprising. And what he doesn't understand, because he's a stupid person, is that none of his jokes are surprising. You can predict all of his jokes once you've heard three of them. All you need is the setup. Um, he was talking when he was talking about jokes, he means the punchline. And she said that no, jokes aren't they're not surprised. It's not the punchline. The comedy isn't in the punchline being surprising. It's in the commitment to the bit. And see, Anthony Jeselnik, people laugh at Anthony Jeselnik because he commits to the bit. But the real thing that makes comedy funny is tragedy. It's that the people in the room hearing the joke right now are the people immune to the truth nestled within the joke, because every joke has a kernel of truth. And so when you turn around and you have an emotional outburst, you're normally a pretty low key guy, and somebody comes over and says something to you, and you just have an emotional outburst that's totally incongruous with the situation, and they understand at least that you're joking because they're actually safe from the reality that that emotional outburst is popcorned around. um, that's a beautiful human moment. It's a beautiful human moment because what you're actually doing is being funny by diverting from the bit. You're not committing to the bit, you're absolutely diverting from it. It's like, if I don't know how well you know, you, the future audience, you, Mr. S, you, I think there are still three people with me. Hey guys. I don't know how well you know improv and the rules of improv, but improv, did I just get disconnected and reconnect? Yes, I did. Um, Improv comedy begins at yes and, right? And so improv comedy is supposed to be funny because everybody is just adding an absurd and on top of the previous person's add onto the previous person's on top of the original premise, right? What's supposed to be funny, but what's actually funny is how tragic these people are for thinking that this is funny. That's why people go to that stuff, is to watch people be cringe. And that's called tragic comedy. If you laugh but you're cringing, like watching Mr. Bean, that's called tragic comedy. And that is where comedy comes from. That's what's actually funny, is the tragedy and being exempt from it. People go to watch improv comedy because they're exempt of having to go through the tragedy of yes anding this tortured concept. Yeah, there's a line where it stops being funny and starts being weird because the tragedy starts speaking to you and you start sharing and participating in the tragedy, right? This is why, like, Louis C.K. was asked to stop doing stand-up comedy and stop presenting his television show because his masturbation kink had become, well, his masturbation problems, fetish, uh, addiction had become too much a part of his comedy, his bit, and so he was just tragic because making he was also putting people in a position where they could say that he was making them uncomfortable with his behavior, and that is bad enough. Whether he did or didn't do anything is irrelevant. I'm not here to try to argue that. Um, when he wasn't able to make the backlash funny, and what he did was stood up on stage and did a 1 hour one man show about how millennials don't understand comedy. I didn't need any more Louis C.K. in my life because artists have a set amount of time. They have a window in which they're at the top of their game, and when they're no longer at the top of their game, they're worse than they ever were. And so that's just where Louis C.K. is now. It breaks my heart. I really liked that guy's music back in the day. I really liked that guy's comedy back in the day. I was thinking about um, I was thinking about uh, Jonas Renksa of Catatonia when I said music. I was paralleling the two in my mind to see whether I actually believed that Jonas and Catatonia were now going to be worse than they've ever been, and the record that they released this year was the worst record on in their catalog, in Catatonia's catalog. I say there, and loosely now, because the they of Catatonia used to be Anders and Jonas, and Anders left the band this spring. So it's just Jonas. There is no they. I know that there are 5 dudes in the band, and that they're a touring band, and that they're professionals, the dudes in the band. They're professionals, and that they helped write and record that record, and they would really like to continue to make an income off of the Catatonia label, but Jonas should have gone solo. It's the same fucking thing. Should have just gone solo. And I do have feelings about that because this is something that happens to every generation of music fan. Like, think about Ozzy and Black Sabbath. Actually, don't think about Ozzy and Black Sabbath the way you might in this context, because I was listening to Ozzy do an interview talk about this in the 80s. He was talking about this in the 80s, and he goes, you know what really, they asked him about Ozzy reuniting with Black Sabbath in the 80s. And he goes, you know what's really fucked up to me? The wyvern egg sinks gently to the bottom of the spring. Because you know it's fucked up to me. We were a band for 6 years and we never got a single word of good press, not a good review of our live show, not a good review of our record labels. The only reason that we were able to make or not our record labels, our uh, our records, our actual recordings. He's like the only reason the record studio even let us continue being a band was because we had such strong record sales. But nobody liked the music. Nobody was supportive of us at our live shows. Nobody liked us at Woodstock and these various places that they played in the 70s. Because we were a band for 6 years of my life. That was 6 years of my life that has been over for a really long time. And it totally caught Ozzy by surprise that people wanted to see him fronting Black Sabbath that badly. It caught him completely by surprise. But Black Sabbath was only a band with Ozzy in it for 6 years. We don't think about that in 2025. The Beatles were only a band for 6 years. The last living wyvern is dead, but the egg you place in the spring remains. Someday it will hatch, and the wyvern will spread its great wings and soar through the sky for the rebels. The wyvern can't thank you for what you've done, so allow me to do so in their place. We are grateful. Sob. Dark. Okay. Oh. Dark. Okay, now what? I came here to learn the language of the wyverns. Who sent me here to learn the language of the wyverns? Was it the king? Was it Hilda? I came here to learn the language of the wyverns, and I now know the language of the wyverns. So what if I go back to the rebellion hideout? Because I don't remember why I wanted that language. But they're all dead anyway. I mean, that small consolation that I don't remember them all being dead. But I don't know what to do next. Common problem for me. Yeah, on that fine line of when it stops being funny and starts being weird, that's where neurodivergent people never know when they've crossed that line. That's really what neurodivergence is. Is just not knowing where the line into weird, uncanny, we don't know how to interact with you on any level is. That's what neurodivergence is. Is when people feel like, yeah, you're too different. Okay. How? How did I get into there? I guess I went southeast. And so probably if I went southeast again, no. Probably if I went northwest. Probably if I went this way. What a weird map. I love it. What a weird what a weird planet, I should say. What a weird spherical planet. How weird are you shaped? And then this way? Where do I pop up on the screen? Interesting. What a weirdly shaped planet. Well, not the planet's not shaped. The land masses of the planet. The planet is probably an oblong spheroid like Earth. No, not oblong. Oblate. Oblate spheroid is what we are. I love that the killer fish are like the least dangerous thing I run across. Killer is obviously relative to what? I don't know. Other fish. Like there's the killer fish, and those are different from the otherwise harmless fish. Are sharks a fish? That's an answer I don't know. Internet says yes. I don't even remember to what. Oh, the killer fish thing. Hilda's been acting very strange lately. I try to speak to her, and all she does is laugh. Could the king's death have disturbed her so deeply? I just don't know what I can do to help her. Would you try speaking to her for me? Oh, that's not good. Fulfilled your duties, did you? Good to see you back in one piece. Are you fucking kidding me right? No, you look at me. You son of a bitch. Do you realize the change in tone in your attitude? What is your fucking problem, old man? The princess's behavior has been quite unusual. What could have happened to her to make her act so? The dragoons vanquished? I can't believe it. Oh, that's right. They sent me out there to acquire alliances with the dragoons, but they're all dead. See, having played this game before, I remembered that part, the they're all dead part, and not the why are we here? Okay, she really doesn't want us to come into her room. Mr. S, there's something I'd like to discuss with you, Hilda says. You were waiting in the doorway to your room for me to come in and see if you were good. Mouse says we'll be waiting outside. Um, Come to me, Mr. S. Oh boy! Your Highness, why are you standing there? I don't enjoy being teased. Um, I need an adult. Now you're mine, Mr. S. What have you done with the princess? Not so fast, you scurvy snake. Uh, I need an adult, he says. Okay. We, we can proceed as normal. That made me laugh. Oh my god. I feel dumb for laughing for so long, but that made me laugh. That was a genuine laugh. Oh man. I love Lamier. That was a good one. That was funny. I just as monsters go, Lamier are one of my very favorite monsters. Oh, and so that was just. I'm really glad I got to share that moment with you. That was true delight. That was funny to me. Oh, now we're gonna whoop this Lamia queen. I knew something was up. I mentioned it last night when we got back, and Hilda wasn't at her usual spot. I was like, So Gordon just replaces her because the king said he wanted Gordon to be in charge of the army, and but what Princess Hilda is not Queen Hilda now? What happened there? Well, we have our answer. We have our answer. Princess Hilda was replaced with a Lamia. So where do we think? I have the hiccups. Where do we think the real Hilda is? Oh, that's bad. Oh, sudden intense hiccup fits. While she's got blank on, I'm going to use my weapons to prolong this fight by just like a couple of more turns. Okay. And now that's silly, so we're not going to do that anymore. Blink 9 is pretty impressive. You're so confused, you hit yourself, and it didn't knock off your confusion. Oh no, this game is before those rules, where confusion automatically any melee damage cures confusion and sleep. And look at that, what was I talking about? When you get the guest party member competent, it's time to move on. And we did it. We beat a boss fight with our guest party member getting the final hit. That feels good. And for whatever reason, she just was not able to get to level 9 in her weapons. Maybe her cap is 8. Layla, just how much of that did you see? Enough to know ye shouldn't be letting your guard down around fetching young ladies, I'd say. Where a real princess? There's a Kyle in every group. I've terrible news. We've just heard a tournament is being held in Palamecia, and Princess Hilda is the prize. I'm coming with you, Gordon says. I want to help rescue Hilda. Don't worry. I know just how you feel, Cap'n. Me and me boys will manage your army. I run a tight ship, no need to fret over us. Well, Gordon's an awful trusting person. Either that, or we so thoroughly Munchausen syndrome Layla by getting lost in that dungeon for so long that she means it. Well, she's not so on our side that she's in that room. That's probably for the best. She's not letting Regency get to her head. I think that's probably what that means. Whew. I should save before I do that. How we doing for time? 10:30, not too bad, not too bad. 40% battery, not too bad. That should put us at, what, 2.5 hours? 2 hours and 40 minutes. Thank you, the two of you, for being here. It's very cool of you. Um, I have no control over the fact that I can't see my comments, but I'm sure that for you, who is not Mr. S, you would have preferred to have been able to interact with me via the comments if they worked. But I don't know how to get it to turn on. So that I can see it, rather. Sometimes it works, usually it doesn't. But we can take some solace or whatever that I will, hopefully, be able to once I have 1,000 subs. So, once we get my silly ass to 1,000 subs, maybe I'll be able to put on the kind of show that people want to see while you're gaming. Okay. I don't know where Palamecia is. Welcome back, Gordo. You don't have any spells, but you got a spear. That worked out with the alliteration. Was unintentional, but it worked out. Where's Sid at? Sid! Where's your bald ass? Sid's got a bald red ass like a baboon. Which is crazy because his upper thighs and lower back are some of the hairiest you've ever seen. But a bald red ass has Sid. He looks like he has been freshly paddled at all times. It's bananas. I think I know where Sid is. Sid is doing what Sid does. Sid drinks and Sid flies airships. Mr. S says it's canonical that now every time he sees Hilda, he's going to be giving her looks. Where's Palamecia? Isn't that what it said? He won't fly to Palamecia because of reasons. So where do we think Palamecia is? The whole tournament's just a trap. You better stay away. No kidding, it's a trap. But where is it? There's one person left alive in this town. I know that. There's always only one person. But where is it? Is Palamecia where they were building the... No, that was Bafsk. I actually don't know where Palamecia is, and I'm done with encounters for a little while. Okay, well, I didn't mean to park that there exactly. But the encounters are off for now. Do you know where Palamecia is? You folks looking to back a passage to Poft is no. The Colosseum be south of Kashwan, eastern edge of the Palamecian Desert. Do we remember where Kashwan is? Kashwan is the one that's in the circle, the ring of mountains. So it's over here somewhere. He said the eastern edge of the desert, so I'm on the wrong side of the continent to start off with. Which is going to be interesting to fix. So maybe they want me to just park here and go through the desert. This isn't dangerous. Walking through desert that, oh, you know, I probably could have just done the thing where we turn on the combat. We'll turn on the encounters. No, we won't. Not like that. If I could read. Chimera and antlions. Yeah, this dungeon, or this desert is a little bit nuts. Antlions are a real animal. I don't know why their name is in that order. Why are they not lion ants? Why are they ant lions? I didn't name them. That might have been your line, but I gave it. I think everybody up here, these three get to swap weapons around. Maces. Is he using a bow? No, maces. Power staff doesn't make sense to use with a fucking shield anyway. She's going unarmed because she's at. Wait a minute. She's going unarmed. Start to do optimal like a dummy. And then he is going spears, I guess. Nah. No, there's a spear right there. And the shields, you gotta go upward because we got a lot of bullshit in our inventory. I carry a lot. Hey, I bet it's that single panel right there that I almost didn't notice. Not nearly so bad as the actually invisible caravan in Final Fantasy I. What? Oh no, magic gates have thrust up. Who dat? May you fight well this day, the Emperor says. To the victor goes Hilda, Princess of Finn. Har, 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 har. Wow, these guys really did. They predicted everything that was going to be in the prequel Star Wars movies. This is the episode 2. They really did. Good on them. I need to turn this fan off. It's drying my eyes out. That could explain why my eyes are so dry. Having that crosswind blowing across my eyes is not helping. Fire! Behemoth. Was there a behemoth? Do we remember a behemoth being in Final Fantasy the First? Because if not, this is a fan favorite monster that will show up in pretty much every game after this with almost that same design. They are very consistent across the titles with the design of what the behemoth, many of the monsters, but the behemoth in particular looks like. And I like that. That's actually one of the things I really liked about the transition from the 1632-bit into the 64 and higher bits, the 3D world, was seeing how the monsters came to more and more and more to life with more and more and more graphical fidelity over the course of time. That was a fun experience to have. I don't really. Do I want Blink? We did Protect and Shell. I don't think we've done Shell. I probably did Blink or Protect twice, like a smart person would do. I don't mind this fight taking a little while. Trying to I'm trying to make sure that she's able to get all of her buffs up and that he's able to level up all of his spells a little bit. Put a little work into Scourge, and then we'll just go straight melee against this thing because it can't hurt us. It might not even be able to hit us now. Like the barrier in the wall, I don't need. I'm just trying to get experience for him. Prolong the fight, get as much MP as possible. Cast as many spells, get as many stats as possible. You know the deal. The only difference is this, the way I'm doing this is the way that most people, most normal people play the game. And what I mean by this, what I'm doing right now, is saving the grind, trying to grind up your shit, saving it for boss fights. I don't like to do that. You're only going to get one stat, 1 point in each stat. I'd rather do this early and whenever possible. I haven't legit had to turn on the party and do damage to the party in a while in order to stay relevant in health. Look at that. Exactly the amount of turns I needed that fight to take. I might be really good at this game, or the devs might be really, really good. This might just be an exceptionally well-made game. Nobly fought. Now let us give you your just reward. This is your chance to slay the Emperor. Here is your reward. A reward battling a rebel, or a reward befitting a rebel, Mr. S. He knows who you are. Uh-oh. Humph. Throw them in a cell, the Dark Knight says. Now, we are not annoyed in 1988 about a prison sequence in a fantasy game in the Final Fantasy series because this is the first time this has happened. This is pretty sweet. We like this. Hey, it's Paul! Paul's going for the... Yes, the non-lethal, lethal takedown. Paul's a badass. This is for rescuing from me from the mines. Oh, wait, that's not how Paul talks. This is for rescuing me from the mines. I pay my debts. Now get out of here before they catch you. He sounds kind of like if Shaggy from Scooby-Doo grew up in Appalachia. Oh, that's water that I can walk on. Cool. Usually you can't walk on that as a way of, padding out the combats that you can get into. But I've turned my combats off for the time being. Encounters off. This is cool. Oh, no, I haven't either. So we're in the prison at the bottom of the Empire's Coliseum. I'm assuming we're still in the Coliseum, that they didn't transport us anywhere without telling us. And Paul set us free. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Because Gordon's in our party, and Gordon needs his hero moment. That's the guy that's leading the rebel army right now. He needs his hero moment. Paul didn't need a hero moment. Paul needed to do something cool as a thief within the narrative of the game, and he did. And that it's narratively satisfying. It's not shoehorned. It's not there because, okay, well, it's in all the other games, or it's a trope. It has to be there. Nah, they wanted to do a prison sequence because we just attacked the Empire at their emperor. We got all the way up to him. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Don't Obi-Wan and Anakin fight Dooku in exactly these circumstances in episode 2? An antidote. They hid an antidote behind a monster in a box. That's the first time this game has trolled me and done some original Final Fantasy bullshit just because they could. It made me smile. Usually it pisses me off. I like this game so much. This game can get away with a lot. This game could probably get away with a lot just for having such a great combat system. Look how powerful we are. This stuff was kicking our ass just last night. Just last night, just in gameplay terms, 3 hours ago, this stuff was level on the floor with us. These captains could barely hurt them. Let's see. Maybe I shouldn't admit this. But there are those Monster Girl games. They're supposed to be like titillady semi-porn games, like softcore porn games, on the Switch now, but they were like PlayStation 2 and PC games. I'm trying to remember there's one franchise that there's two of them, and they're actually really fun. But what's fun about them is running around in first-person dungeons, gaining levels, and the gaining levels doesn't just give you new spells. It gives you new affinities with the girls, and I don't care about all that stuff, so I skip through the cutscenes. But they also have level caps, so it's like Pokemon, except all of the monsters have a level cap, and so going through and leveling all of them up makes sense to do. You hit the level cap, and they're no longer there's no reason for them to ever be in your party again, because you're going to catch something that's stronger at level 1. And it's cool. I like that a lot. I wish I could remember what they were called. Chronicles? Something like that? Who remembers? I like those a lot. I like just taking things that are weak and making them powerful. And that's basically what that's basically what you're getting, is you're getting your affinity levels up with these monster girls. Is, oh, I'm so weak and scared. Oh, I'm not weak and scared anymore. Great job. It's cool. And then you also get to give them baths, which is just hilarious. Because there's somebody out there that's like, oh man, this softcore porn is my jam. And I'm just like, Softcore porn breaks from my JRPG. I must be playing a Japanese game. Or like the Hyperdimension Neptunia games are some of my absolute favorite games. Princess Hilda, hold on, we'll get you out of there. Mr. S talks a lot. Have you noticed that, like, he is not a silent protagonist on any level? Hilda, are you all right? Gordon, I never thought to see you here. I thought Mr. S would save me and that we would be running off into the long dark night together. And he's like, I will be side-eyeing you forever because the last time I saw you naked, it was with a snake's torso under your legs. Or snake's tail? Gordon, take the princess and go, says Mr. S. We'll draw the guard's attention while you escape. Thank you, Mr. S. Be careful. Okay, well, maybe this time that we've rescued her from a prison, it stuck. Because last time when we rescued her from um, the Death Star, it didn't stick. She was actually, yeah, get her away from me, he says. That's why you gave her to Gordon. It's funny, Paul could have come with us. We could have given her to Paul and had 4 people in the party, but nah, get her away. Can't trust Hilda any further than you can, I don't know what you do to snakes. Chase her with snake repellent. I got suddenly silent there, didn't I? It just hit me all at once. Oh, I'm tired. We've almost... You know what? We don't have to go through this. Yes, we do. We cannot teleport out of the prison. There's probably like some sort of magic. There's probably some kind of magic ward that prevents you from casting teleport in the prison. That would only make sense. They're like, you're not going to trivialize the escape from this dungeon by casting the spell that trivializes escaping dungeons. Not this time. Aw, but I like trivializing the escape. The escape is the hard part. Well, the going down is about getting lost. And the getting out is hard because I get lost on the way out too. I have an ideal... Oh, never mind. Mr. S with the 2 times 90 evasion. I dare you to take damage. Kyle gains his shield level. Fucking A. Look at us go, yo. Kyle's got to be about 8 with the shield, right? 8 with a shield. Is that a 9? No, it's an 8. He can move off axes to staves or spears. What if he went staves and spears for a while? That would look stupid. Having a spear tucked under your right arm and a quarterstaff in your left hand? That'd be a little silly to dual wield. Why couldn't we teleport out of there? That's funny. Okay, so now... Yeah, you know it's a good... You know that Final Fantasy II is a good game because Kyle is actually useful. He actually gets to participate. I don't just relegate him to holding the healing helmet. Here, Kyle, hold the healing helmet and don't fuck this up. That was uncanny. How many times in a row in that Final Fantasy playthrough it was Kyle that just could not stay alive. It was totally uncanny. I have never experienced anything like that before. I named a character to make fun of him, And then the game proceeded to kill him over and over and over for the joke of it. And I've never had a video game play along like that before. I'm really, really grateful. You don't understand. I don't feel proud that I caught it on camera. So many people are like, "Oh man, I'm so glad I caught that on camera. I can prove it happened." I don't care about that. I'm glad that I got the opportunity to share it with you, and that I got the opportunity to have people here with me when it happened, and that I got the opportunity to share it into the future because it's such a stupid story. It's such a dumb story. It's such a stupid thing to struggle through. But it was hilarious. I don't know why I have the light on in my tent. I haven't had the camera on my face in a long time. Yeah, there you go. That would be amazing. Actually, I would love it if you did do that, or if anybody did do that. Mr. S said that he's now going to make it his mission in life to give you a penalty to critical hits, to receiving critical hits if you name your character Kyle, and it's just going to be in the code and it's not going to say it anywhere. And my middle name is Kyle, for everyone out there that doesn't know. There is a guy who has sent me about $50 over the course of the last year named Kyle. That's who the character was originally homaging. But then I thought it would just, well, no, that's not who it was originally homaging. I was originally naming him Kyle to do exactly what I'm doing, making fun of my middle name, Kyle. But then I remembered him, and so it was like two birds with one stone. And then, and then he just kept dying. Uh, he got a little vindication as a white mage, but literally all I had him do was cast the healing helm for hours. Hold this helmet. Make sure nobody falls below max health. Here we go. I think that's genuinely funny. And so oh, that says diamond shield. I thought it said demon shield, and I was like, oh, neat. A unique drop. And the final boss, yeah, final boss did still kill him. I also thought that was very cool. I'm gonna have to test that again in the future, but I did think it was very cool that the boss seemed to be um, reacting to us. It seemed to be uh, fighting in a different way the second time we beat him. He seemed harder, objectively harder. We had to be 20 levels higher to survive it. And so I wonder if that was me. I wonder if that was I was just playing badly because I was tired, or if that's in the code. That's something I would have to research. I'd have to Google. I'd have to ask, basically, somebody in the know. I'd have to ask an AI, or really look for that information. I miss parking on rivers, so we're gonna park on rivers for Final Fantasy the First sake, just to remember having done that. That's such a cool little exploit to be able to skip from the canoe directly to the not to skip, but that's such a cool way to get the airship that you have to park at a river. That could have really fucked me up as a kid. I wouldn't have thought about that. The first game, yeah. That's basically what happened. The first game was like, oh, he's got two black mages, all of this flare every turn. I don't know what to do with this. 1,000 damage a turn. I can't cope with it. And then the other team, it was like, I'm smashing him with all this damage, but he kept making me stop to have to heal too. So, yeah. Why did I come here? I came here to talk to Hilda and Gordon. And so they're not going to be in the king's bedchamber, deathbed. Bedchamber's probably the wrong word. They're not in her bedroom either, though. Where did they go? Where would they have gone? They're not going to help me. They all have tutorials. I don't even know why I walked in that room. Shit, they took the bossy old man, too. Did they take everybody? Everybody's gone. I probably could have noticed that when I walked in. Why is everyone gone? Paul? The rebel army has arisen. Our first move will be to retake Castle Fen. Prince Gordon and Princess Hilda have pitched camp near Fen. You should head there immediately to lend your strength to the cause. Cool. Hell yeah. Are we approaching the end of the game? That can't be right. Because Minwu's in that tower that we can't get access to yet. Minwu fucked all the way off of this war. So is the emperor gonna have like a? Is he gonna do like a? I don't remember the story. I've never paid attention to the story. Um, is the emperor gonna have like a final form? Turns out that he's possessed by a demon or something. How does this end? Or where's the next narrative twist? Is what I meant. Not does how does the end game? Not as. Damn it! You can say this without stuttering. Not how does the game end, but how does this narrative section uh, come to a conclusion? Mr. S, Mouse, Kyle, I owe you my life. It would appear you also deserve credit for destroying the dreadnought. I don't know how I can ever thank you enough. Do not fear. I am the true princess. What's this? I could swear you were blushing. No, that's a side eye, sweetheart. That's funny, though. That's funny that they wrote that in. You're to be the heart of our attack. While we hold the bulk of the Imperial forces at bay, you'll slip in and kill the Castellan. The Castellan is the base leader of the castle. We're taking back the castle, he says. Okay. So why don't we go over here to Galatea, right? Isn't that what this place is called? Gatria. Damn it, I was so close. I had the beginning and the end. And we'll take a nappy naps. Kind of fucked up that they didn't have a bed I could sleep at the camp, the military camp. If I'm gonna be spearheading this thing, it's kind of fucked up that they made me buy my own bed. But whatever, it's just a town next door. And we're not technically a part of the rebel army yet because we don't know anything of combat. That's not true. But yeah, for some reason they treat us like not exactly auxiliaries, but separate from the main rebellion. Okay. What is she working on? Feasts. So he's working on staffs and swads. And he's done. He needs is that a bow he needs? Let's do it. Here we go. Going to attack the castle. Now, do you think we go into the town first? No. Or do we go into the castle? You think Paul will be here for this section? Can we survive? Yes, we'll be alright. We can handle this stuff. Why is there undead in Finn Castle? That's disturbing. Hey, what's up, Layla? I appreciate that our guest party members aren't all dying. That their solution for how this isn't going to be um, uh, a party member later. You don't want to be hacking your way deep into enemy territory without me. It should be with me, but whatever. But you're also right. I did want to have a fourth person. And it's cool. It's cool that they don't all go the way of Joseph. That's what I'm trying to articulate. Because it would have been very easy to Shakespeare it and just have all your guest party members die, but that would get old. It would stop having weight after a while. And so the drama of the war, it's like, okay, yeah, people die. Okay. Yeah, he died too. I bet when he leaves my party, it's because he died. Like that's not fun. But getting to see Gordon and then getting to get Layla back, like these people who started in your party super fucking weak, so weak, useless weak. And now they're anything but. Now they're competent. Now they're a member of the party. That's cool. It just feels lived, it feels earned, and moreover it feels deserved. It feels like I deserve this. I deserve to have this person back in my party because I didn't finish getting her weapon levels to 9. Moreover, I didn't know I wanted it until I got it because, like I was saying, are they going to give me Paul? Oh, they gave me Layla. Same thing. They're both thief archetypes. I shouldn't say thief archetypes. They're both rogue archetypes. So Paul is a thief, she's a pirate. Same fucking archetype. It's cool that they gave me the female character, right? Like, there's a cool chick in my party. That feels fun to play. Maybe I'm different. Maybe that's a me thing. I am I'm doing this at random. I'm certain that I don't even know I'm supposed to be here. But the goal is the Castellan, so we're trying to get to the top of the castle. If the castle has loot in it, one would assume that we could loot the castle after. What? Swords and daggers, right? You can use swords, daggers? Yes. Oh, I meant to show you this earlier. Um, because I made a big deal about how I think it's so cool that the game like actually tells you whether they're right-handed or left-handed dominant. Layla is left-hand dominant. Her longsword is in her left hand. You see that? That's cool. Her favored hand is her left hand. Not a ripple of imperfection mars the surface of this mirror. Huh. The moon is in a different spot tonight. Using the pendant on the mirror showed me the dragon egg. The image of an egg shimmers in the mirror. I didn't anticipate that would happen. What happens when I use... Interesting. I wonder why that is. I wonder what that was about. Shining the pendant in that mirror showed me the egg. And so I'm guessing the egg is safe. That's what that probably means? That the egg is good? That mirror quote matters because mirrors are made of polished silver. I'm probably overthinking what you're saying. But they were often made of polished silver. Mirrors were often made of polished silver. Or copper. The glass technology to make reflective glass was extremely expensive. I don't even know how glass mirrors are made. I legitimately don't know how mirrors are made. But yeah, they used to pound metals real thin. Yeah, it's perfect. I hear what you're saying because it's perfectly. It would be like, yeah. So I used to work with sheet metal, and the difficulty of rolling out sheet metal back then would have been something to marvel at. That's a good point. It's weird to think that molecularly, atomically, metals like gold, silver, iron are really very little different from clay before it's been fired as far as moving the atoms around when you hit them with a hammer, reshaping the face in that way. Well, with pressure, whether it be with a hammer or what. It just takes more pressure with denser, harder metals, you know. It is interesting to think about that they're effectively like the same thing. They're you know, clay is dirt really, but you're just moving around atoms. You're moving around atoms. Yeah, force in general. It's neat. There's no profound thought there. It's just something that I realize from time to time. Like it looks so different, but when you have it in like a lump state, which is hard to get, they're very similar in strange ways. Strange to me. Strange to contemplate for me. What do we got here? Spears is next. How about flame lance and you just keep the main gauche? Just keep that main douche, that main douche. Okay, so this was not the way. I went right to the treasure spot. And then I would have to really puzzle it out. I'd have to really think about it. Um, because I have been deliberately solving these dungeons at random, for the random encounters. But I would be interested to see if even the design philosophy on these, they use red herrings, if they use an opposite sort of design philosophy as the first one, so that you can't use your instincts that you've picked up from playing the first one for however long, a year or 2 years, to easily run through this game. And like they haven't hit us with any like the floor is lava sections. So it most certainly doesn't rely on bullshit to the same degree that the first one did. Kyle crosses 50 strength while using a bow. That only makes sense. Bows are heavy, man. I bet you I've done this once before. I bet you I did this exact little pattern last time. Hmm. It's gonna be an interesting night tonight, as far as the temperature, the humidity. Oh no, I haven't yet. It got real cold there for a second, real cold there for a second. And now it's real warm again, which is unusual without the sun being out. So I wonder what changed. Hmm. Layla's just gonna do everything she can not to get to level 9 with her weapons. Or do any damage with them. What is she wearing, actually? What are you equipped with, darling? Layla, babe, why are you using such weak weapons? You're not keeping the winged sword, but I will give you a mithril sword. I'm not giving you the Giants gloves because that would be a little silly in case I want to give him the Giants gloves. I kind of do because his evasion can go up still. It's warm enough in here that I can smell myself. It's not bad. It has just been a while. It has been a while since my body has had perfumes applied to it with hot water. And there's a homeless shelter with showers that I could use, helping homeless hands or something like that, something to that effect. But I'm thinking about this now, and I think about it a lot. Um, I could, but part of me is unwilling to find out whether their water is actually hot. I don't want to stand under another cold shower. The last time I took a shower that wasn't in a home of which I was a resident, the last time I took a shower that wasn't in a home of which I was a resident was in an extended stay in an HRSA wing of a hospital. HRSA stands for High Risk of Self Abuse. And they didn't run hot water to the showers. And so, what I just don't want to do. Have I disconnected and it's not told me yet? I see. And so, what I just don't want to do, because the last time I took a shower at a place where I wasn't a resident was in the hospital, and they didn't even bother. They didn't even bother with hot water, and I just don't want to find out. What is this? Enhances effectiveness against various enemy types when used in battle. Yes. Do I have 2 auras? 2 aura tomes. Cool. I want to move these around real quick, real quick, real quick, real quick, real quick. Enhances effectiveness against various enemy types. Increases the number of attacks. That feels right. How in hell am I supposed to get over there? I'm guessing there's an invisible wall. Stabbing you 5 times with a spear and then slashing you 5 times with a dagger is a little bit silly. But you know what? If they stood for it. The thing is, and I have to keep reminding myself of this, it's not that I stink, it's that I think my deodorant stinks. That's a difficult thing to remind oneself of. Hey, look at that. It's not that you smell, it's that you think your deodorant smells bad. So you probably smell very good to other people. To you, you smell bad. But then, like, I smell past where the perfumes are, and I don't smell bad. It's funny. It's because I bathe, yo. It's because I bathe so often. Bathe the best I can. I just haven't stood under hot water. And so, like, that's the difference on some level. And I just don't want to find out that Helping Hands or Homeless Hands or whatever the fuck that place is called, I just don't want to find out that they don't have hot water. And so I want to celebrate a big day, a big donation day, with like a hotel room shower. Not even staying, not even sleeping the night in the bed, just something like that. I don't know. We'll get there, and I'll worry about it when it matters, because it doesn't super duper matter right now. It's not like I have a girlfriend or I'm going on a date or anything like that. It's not like I've got a job interview or whatever. I just like to be prepared for the future. I like to be prepared with what I think is going to be the decision that I'm making, so I can make an executive decision and change my mind if I turned out to have been wrong. Damn it. They got me. I didn't see that monster in a box coming. They got me. I was not prepared. I was not prepared emotionally for this to be a monster in a box. Certainly not 8 of them. I don't even know how you got in that box. Oh, there is a critter very close to my tent outside. It sounded like a bird. Hoping it was a bird. Now I want to try to get over to that side through the invisible wall. I'm guessing there's an invisible wall because there's items. Yeah, we went and leveled up to 1000 HP in a spot that's way higher level than this. Hey, it worked twice. Our instincts. We didn't even need Paul. We don't even need you. Well, hot diggity dang it. We have an extra pair of Giants gloves if you want them, Layla. I don't think the crit was necessary there, Mr. S. It was dead. You didn't have to hit it for over 1000 damage. It doesn't have that much HP. Do I want to try this? No, there's nothing there. Okay. Is there another invisible wall, maybe? Probably not. Or invisible door? Probably not. Probably I just wanted that one Giant's glove in case I hadn't gone down and bought any. We haven't even tried Ori yet. Probably should be leveling it up so that we don't go into the boss fight with it level 1. It missed her? He just chose to hit everybody but Mouse with Aura. Wonder what that's about. Oh, she's dead. .48. I don't know why I just did that. I don't know why I shouted that out like that. Sometimes it happens. Da 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 da. Well, oh, Mr. S isn't going to end this. She is. Oh no, he is. Before Cairo gets to heal, but not before Layla got to be healed. Layla's just doing everything she can. Mouse is finally at the level of cure that I wanted it to be. 8, so now somebody else can be our primary healer for a while. And I think now we go up those middle stairs. That seems to be the only sensible thing to do. Nope. The rugs in this place are pretty. Asymmetrical, but pretty. It's a big rug, too. Like, you could perform Shakespeare on that rug. I feel like you could probably play cricket on that rug. I feel like when they unrolled that rug, they had to be careful that no children were in the room because they'd just get lost. Like that guy that got trapped under the American flag when they were unfurling it at that football game that one time. One of the truly most hilariously tragic things to ever happen. He was fine, but it was dicey there for a second. We're gonna quick save just because I have a bad feeling about what's coming up. Castle Finn. Oh, nice. Mouse got level 7 in her weapons. So she can go to something else now. From swords and knives to staves and spears. Isn't that what this guy's using? Doesn't need to be. He needs to be using bows. Good. So we'll go stave and we'll go spear. Who dis? Oh, it'll have to wait. That looks like the Castellan. Are we about to avenge ourselves on Finn? Are we about to reclaim Finn for the rebellion? Or are we about to fail again? Rebels! Here? Where are my soldiers? No, it can't be. This was all a trap. Well, maybe not a trap. Maybe a setup. Maybe it was our plan. But I don't know about a trap. Neat. Imbibe is what that spell he just used was called. I don't know what that's gonna do. It sounds bad for me. Aura 1. Holy 5. Zwow. Blizzard 5. Twing. Punch to punches. Stabbings. Oh boy. Imbibe 6. I don't know what that's doing for you, but it doesn't seem to be affecting me in a negative kind of way. Because you didn't fight back. I'm okay with you not fighting back, actually. Hey, Layla got level 9 with her weapons. Kyle got 7 with bows. And Mouse got Blink to level up. Fucking A. Great news. Kyle with his 3 times 0% evasion. Kind of hilarious. You've defeated the enemy commander. We're winners, dudes. And now they're on their thrones. It's so good to finally be back. This would never have been possible had we not worked together. I thank you all. That's one way to react to that. I gotta wait for this achievement to go away. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay. We could never have taken Castle Finn without your help, but there is one problem. Minwu still hasn't come back. Would you go to Mysidia to find out what happened to him? The Mysidian Tower is rumored to house the Ultima Tome, a text containing the ultimate magic. I'm certain it would prove invaluable in the struggle against the Emperor. Okay. Talk to her. It pains me to ask this of you so soon after winning back our castle. Would you go to Mysidia? Yes. Mysidia is a land of mages. Without the aid of their magic, defeating the Emperor will not be easy. I've heard that a spell, sometimes referred to as the ultimate magic, lies in the Mysidian Tower. According to legend, a passage to Hell opened long, long ago. Monsters poured through the passage and entered our world. Ultima was the magic that drove them back. Okay. I can't teleport out of here. So, do I have to walk the whole way out? Okay. Okay, very Final Fantasy the First, very Dragon Quest. I don't begrudge it. What's this look like now? Thriving, happy people. We could never have recaptured Finn without you, thanks. You guys took out the big boss, huh? Wow. Finn is ours again at last. The standard of the Wild Rose flies over Finn once more. Being able to live here again is like a dream come true. Man, we're fucking heroes. Saving people. Helping the day. Getting people their homes back from the evil empire. We're the kind of people that you would let marry your daughter. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know that I actually want this gold stuff, but if the yeah, that's what I was thinking. If it lowers my magic um, interference without affecting my so the gold cuirass is better than the knight's armor only in that it's way lower magic evasion and significantly higher. It's lower magic interference and significantly higher evasion. The gold pin, the gold hairpin. Oh, you want to wear? You feel like wearing a gold hairpin, Kyle? You good with that? Mr. S's evasion is 99%. Just never hitting that guy. Good luck. We got here Werebuster, Trident, Wing Sword, Flame Bow. We've got all of that stuff and 269,000 gil to play with. The days where we are struggling for money are over. This is another reason that I don't mind getting lost in dungeons, because there's going to come a dungeon late in the game where I get lost and I walk out with so much money I never need money again. Let's go to the bar. See if the bar is a bummer. The bar is a bummer now that we've got the town liberated. Gordon's brother is still dead down here in the basement, and we're just leaving him there. Kind of fucked up. But he's a foreigner. Who gives a shit? Weren't Gordon and his brother from Kashwan? Weren't they from somewhere else? Okay. Minwoo. They told us, actually, before I get too invested in that, we've got 10 minutes. Okay, so you can't walk into the deep ocean like you can a river. It doesn't just summon your boat to you when you step on the ocean like it does your canoe. That's a thing. I'm smart. People have accused me that before. Where the fuck is my boat, and why am I going anywhere other than where it is? Because I'm tired. We're gonna get down here. We're gonna get down here and say our goodnight. So I should probably just be saying my goodnights tonight. Um, I feel like I've expressed the majority of the gratitude that I have so many times that I don't want it to sound rehearsed or rote, but I really do I really do just feel so much gratitude for the opportunity to do this, to play this. This is a game I deeply love, and it's a game that I just would not have gotten this far in on my own time because I just have no reason to finish. So if I'm just trying to pass the time, it doesn't matter how I pass the time and whether I finish or not. A game and book, something I'm writing, and I really appreciate the opportunity to spend my days working toward finishing something, or at least in the case of Chrono Trigger, working toward completing something in my own, like feeling done with this. All right, I have completed that to my satisfaction. I no longer have any curiosity about what happens after X part. In fact, I've never gotten past initially getting the airship, the flying vehicle, the Wings of Time, or as I called it, the Stoop. Uh, I've never gotten past that, and I always thought it was just I got bored or I just never chose to come back after that. But I think that losing Chrono kills that game for me. The Chrono dying and the game just going, okay, kills it for me. Kills whatever was happening. And the reason that it kills it for me, and I talked about it throughout, is that Chrono, the way they wrote his silent protagonist also made him a passive protagonist. And so everything that he was doing continues without him. And that's because you can beat the game, as I tried, without getting him back. But I just I don't have the desire to see the ending. I don't care. I don't care what the resolution is. The resolution cannot be more profound than we saved the day. Roll credits. Like I won that stupid fight. What's it gonna do? Congratulations, you won this broken Mimi fight. What's it gonna say? What's it gonna do? It's gonna have there's gonna be a cutscene, and there are gonna be people dancing in it. That's what it's gonna do. I'm good. I've seen anime sprites dance before. I'll be all right. It sounds dismissive and frankly terrible. I don't like it either. But I will be all right. I will survive, and I won't throw a temper tantrum or break my phone or throw my phone or any other silly juvenile expression of my rage if I don't play it. And preserving that, the peace of mind is more important to me. So I just thank you for the opportunity to do this, to share a game that I really love, to share things that I just really hate, and to get an opportunity to develop as a person, even in you know whatever, middle age, 38 years old, however old you think that is. Even for me, I still get to develop skills because you are here. Mr. S is here, subscribed on the Patreon. Madge is subscribed to the Patreon, but not here, but out there in the universe. So thank you, the three of you, unspecifically, everyone. I really appreciate this. Without you, I wouldn't be able to sustain doing this. Take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves.